The following content contains adult language and humor that is not suitable for viewers under the age of 18. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. The views and opinions expressed during the following video content are those of the individual and may not reflect those of others. Thank you.
The part of Cash Money will be played by Baron Orman Tag.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome one and all to this Sunday edition of Pacific414 Pop Talk, along with Cash Baron 007. I am your host, Mike, and today we will be bringing you the news because Cash Money is still at his turkey coma.
Yeah, it was a rough Thanksgiving, especially after the election. I went in, I was wearing all my MAGA stuff, and they said, go sit in the corner. And, and they're just going on. And I started getting me this complex, and I had to wrap myself in tinfoil because, just all the conspiracy stuff they were saying. So, yeah, help.
Help? Well, that's the last thing you need is help because, it's been a week since Pop Talk last talked about anything. But, everybody hopefully had a happy Thanksgiving with their friends and families. And for those of you that didn't celebrate Thanksgiving because you, A, don't live here in the United States, or B, you just don't celebrate it for whatever reason, I hope you've had a great week. And we're here to talk about some news that we have lined up and some speculation that we also have lined up for this morning.
Yeah,
And
only thankless people don't celebrate. So I wasn't celebrating. I was in the corner, wrapping myself up in tinfoil.
wrapping yourself up in tinfoil, why would you do that?
Well, so the government doesn't get, into your brain because, before the inaugural, they're going to try to get all information and they're going to use it on us for Russia.
Right. I'm sure. But folks, today we are going to be talking about an article where they're saying that the Batman Part 2 is not being canceled and he being James Gunn is not getting rid of Matt Reeves, although there is rumor and speculation saying that it is going to be canceled. But I want to highlight something that Pop said when I had posted about today's episode, and he's absolutely right. If they were to cancel the Batman 2, they would have to pay out the contracts. And do we really think that Warner Brothers, Peter Safran, James Gunn, and Warner Brothers themselves really want to do that?
Well, yeah, I still get paid because, I'm the stunt chin. So I make Robert Patrick look impressive in some scenes with the chin, but I don't sparkle.
And speaking of Batman, apparently there's a new Batman animated movie in development that's coming from Cosmic Book News. We also have information regarding Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, And the director's saying he wants to bring remake trilogy to as many people out there as possible, but still has yet to announce a release date for the latest entry. And then we'll be talking about an article from That Park Place where Stuttering Guitarist has written an article saying that John Mayer preserves a piece of Jim Henson's legacy. Rockstar does what Disney won't. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what's going on, Muppet Vision 3D at Walt Disney World is being closed so they can put in a monsters themed area in that particular part of Hollywood Studios, and they're changing Rock and Roller Coaster from Aerosmith to Muppets.
Wow.
Well, we'll get more into that when we read the article. And then the other article we'll be talking about today, it's from comicbook.com, and it says Power Rangers and D&D fans freaking out over rumors Elon Musk could buy Hasbro. I mean, first you hear Elon Musk might buy MSNBC, and now there's another rumor saying he might buy Hasbro. Rumors and speculations, folks. Of course, we will take a look at the weekend box office for this Thanksgiving weekend, but first, we do have a bit of sad news, especially for those of us who grew up in the 1980s and we heard this lovely woman's voice, voicing different characters for many different animated cartoon series. And let me bring up the article here. Morgan Lofting, the Baroness in G.I. Joe animated series, has passed away at the age of 84. She also provided voices for Spider Man, Transformers, and Total Recall. This was posted by Mike Barnes yesterday on Hollywood Reporter's website. And it says Morgan Lofting, the veteran voice actress best known for her turn as the Baroness, the ruthless Cobra chief intelligence officer who brought chaos to G.I. Joe animated series and excuse me and movies, has died. She was 84. Lofting died unexpectedly Wednesday at her home in Burbank. Her agents Neri Lemus and Christopher Arsaga of Celebworks announced as one of the 10 founding actors at our agency. She meant the world to us and our company, they said in a statement. The voice actress also portrayed Aunt May and Black Cat for the 1981 1982 Batman series and Moonracer and Firestar for a 1985 Transformers series episode. And that's actually The Search for Alpha Tran, if memory serves me correctly. She did voice work on the Arnold Schwarzenegger starring Total Recall in 1990. Lofting came up with a European accent for the dark-haired Baroness, a sexy master of disguise, an expert in weapons and hand-to-hand combat who sported black-rimmed eyeglasses and tight black leather outfit. She voiced,
Oh yeah.
yeah, and many women have cosplayed as the Baroness.
And why not?
Mm-hmm.
She was a get this, folks, a strong female character, even though she was a villain, that we all admired. Oh my God,
Yes.
we didn't have that back in the 80s, did we?
No, and
Especially in a cartoon show.
before I continue, I do want to say hello to Decepticons Cave of Collectibles. And he says, well, word is they are rebooting the main characters at DC, Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. So I don't know where the All In, aka Absolute Universe, will go. Yeah, they're doing a lot of things over at Warner Brothers, and I don't know if they know exactly what they're doing.
Well,
Just my
it's
opinion.
Well, it just seems like chaos over there, so I agree.
Yeah, yeah. It would be awesome because honestly, Hasbro needs a direction.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, I'm sorry about that, brother. Y- you just never know. But it says she voiced the terrorist in GI Joe miniseries in 1983, 84, and 89 for 4 seasons of 2 series that aired in 1985, 86, and 1990-91. In the 1986 TV movie G.I. Joe Arise Serpentor Arise, and in 1987's straight to video G.I. Joe the movie. And the only reason why it was straight to video was because of the fallout of Transformers the movie and the death of Optimus Prime.
Mm-hmm. And the death that they had planned for that movie.
Yeah, Dukes.
Mm-hmm.
Her co star Mike Bell joked that there was blood on the control room window after she would shout, Cobra! She recalled in a 2017 interview. During that chat, she expressed amazement that the shows she's worked on years ago still resonated. You take your money and you go home, and then 30 years later, someone says, Hi, I want you to meet my spouse and my children. And you were so important to me when I was growing up, she said. You begin to realize that these characters help people through their lives. Born in Cincinnati on February 2nd, 1940, Lofting also appeared on 4 episodes of the CBS primetime soap Knots Landing in 1986-87 and in the 1988 film The Night Before, starring Keanu Reeves and Lori Loughlin.
Wow, she worked with Keanu. Woo.
Mhm. In 1989, she went back to college to finish her bachelor's degree and then earned her master's in history at Cal State Northridge. She later found a love of bartending with books, as she called it, as a librarian. Could you imagine, Baron, being in that library and she tells you to be quiet, but in the Baroness's voice?
Yes, ma'am. Anything you see, ma'am.
She returned to voice acting in 2013 by playing the former villain Festina on Ben 10 Omniverse. Survivors include her brother Tim, his wife Lynn, and their son Brian, her son Justin, and his wife Stacy, and her grandchildren Zach and Ellie. Well, for a certain generation, she and many voice actors of her generation definitely made an impact on a lot of us.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is when you had real voice actors and actresses, and not they go, hey, let's throw this actor in that and they're a great actor. Don't get me wrong, usually, but but they're not a good voice actor or actress. So they just don't know how to follow through and deliver like that. So I mean, to appreciate these that are you know trained, worked hard at it, and became something. That's an accomplishment. It is hard work to be a voice actor and actress. Uh, in some ways, more so because how do you get your uh, emotes through? Facial expressions, body. And if you really see a true voice actress or actor working in a booth, they're acting because even though you can't see it, it still comes through and it
Hmm.
adds to the character. If you're just standing there doing it's not. I don't want to call it phoning it in, but it seems like it, right?
Yeah,
And then the only reason why is they just don't know how to properly be voice. Well, that's why we need radio dramas and shows and comedies back, because it does teach actors and actresses how to work in front of a microphone only. And you should see some of the people when they're doing the radio shows. It's just, and needless to say, she was a shining star of being a voice actress. Yeah, she did some non voice actress roles, but overall, what's she doing? Voice or background voices.
Hmm.
All that's hard, and you got to start switching up. Okay, what am I exactly doing in this one? Who am I being in this one? And then remembering the different voices. And, you don't want to start dropping into a different voice while you're playing one.
Yeah, because I've listened to some convention videos where different voice actors have been asked to appear at that convention. They've said many a times that they had to ask the voice director to play back the sound of the character's voice because they're not just voicing that character for that animated series. They're on other animated series doing other voices. So some of them they have to hear it again so they know, okay, that's the character I'm doing.
Right. Exactly. So yeah, it's well, kind of funny, going to actually a live, Lieutenant Klemper, who played, of course, Colonel. Uh, why did I from Hogan's Show? I just got a mental block on the
Colonel Click?
time.
Colonel
Colonel
Click?
Klink. Thank you so much. And when he did his bit for The Simpsons, he forgot how to do Clink. He had to go back and see how what Clink was about and how he did it, so he could go and do The Simpsons. So it happens to a lot of people. They have to
Hmm.
look at something they did before. How many years was it between Hogan's Heroes and that episode of The Simpsons? Um,
Yeah, because they have to first hear it, then they have to try to remember exactly how they did it, how they manipulated their you know tongue,
mhm,
their mouth, in order to
right,
get that particular voice.
right, and
The
do the
pitch, the tone.
mhm. And to do the classic line, Hogan. you know,
I mean, you know, the first game based on the 2007 live action Transformers game,
hmm
they had Frank Welker back as Megatron, but you can tell it had been a long while since he had done the voice.
right,
It was there, but it wasn't exactly on par. But the more he got back to doing it, the more he sounded like Megatron.
right. And Morgan here, she played the Baroness from the 80s into the 90s. She was one of only four that was constantly playing that character up to a
Hmm.
point. So at least she still had that well in her memory box.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it didn't hurt having all the Baronesses showing up. And and I'm sure they wanted to hear the Baroness voice, so I'm sure she was still in great practice. But
Hmm.
as sad as this one was, there is something that kind of gives me a little bit of a glowing thought in here, and it might sound weird, but they when they said that she passed away unexpectedly. And that to me tells me that she was up and about and doing stuff. Obviously, she was still going to conventions. It's not one of those where you hear that they've been in hospice or they've been ill for a long
Yeah, yeah.
time or anything. So at least I can sit back off with even that line unexpectedly. You think that, oh, why would that put some comfort into you? And the thing is that she was living life till the
Yeah, she
very
was
end.
still active. She was still
Yep.
very active. And it's good to see the comic relief crusader. Yeah, brother, we lost our Baroness.
Yep. I'm going to start calling him Canadian Mike. You're American Mike. He's Canadian Mike. That we all remember who's who. Hey, Canadian Mike. Hey. But yeah, and of course, like you said, even doing some Transformers work. So
Mhm. I mean, think about it too, Bear, and doing the Transformers work, both the G.I. Joe, Real American Hero, and
hmm
Generation 1 Transformers were produced by Sumbo.
right.
So you had a lot of the same voice actors bouncing between both shows.
Oh yeah, you'd be stupid not to. You know, you got you got that great. You know how to work with them, so you're not constantly having new people coming in and try to explain what this is about. So it's like, boom, there you go. Okay, well, I'll just stay in the booth here, and you give me the script for the GI Joe. Okay, and now I'll do the Transformer one.
Hmm.
So I mean, uh, and what was it? The ones that did the Star Trek animated series. Like you take a look at all the
Filmation.
crossovers. Yeah, Filmation. Thank you so much. I was having a mental block. But they did, of course, He-Man, and they did the Flash Gordon, and you start hearing the voices between all these shows that they had. About the only one was Star Trek because they brought in the original cast and even original guest stars. Morgan,
Yeah.
Roger C. Carmel, bringing in the actor who played Cyrano Jones. I have a block on his name. Um, so you had that. It was just uh, because it was a special situation, needless to say. But
Hmm.
yeah, all these studios usually try to keep their voice cast in there and try to keep them happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
At least the reputable ones.
Yeah. And, you look at the list of names, especially the shows that we watched when we were growing up. And
hmm
yeah, you did see a lot of the same names and credits for other shows, but it also got to a point where you're all, I know that voice. And as a
Right.
kid, you may not know the name, but you know the voice.
hmm Yeah. It's like you can, different inflections helps, you know, establish the character, make the character believable, but there's still enough of a hint that it's this person doing it.
Hmm.
And even when you're listening to Peter Cullen in Transformers, between the various characters he played in there, it's like, oh yeah, it's Peter Cullen, but and he's doing his voice, different for that character, but we can still hear it.
Yep. You can still hear Peter Cullen's voice, but depending on the tone of the voice, you can hear the prime
And,
voice, if you know what I
right.
mean.
And I know exactly what you mean. I know,
And,
I know.
and that's what makes a lot of these voice actors and actresses special.
Right,
Is again the imprint their voices leave on you growing up.
right. I mean,
And Morgan Lofting certainly did that.
honestly, the character was drawn sexy, very beautiful, right? But
Hmm.
also very mean. It's like, but it wouldn't have had that full life without her voice adding to that and bringing that extra level to it.
Yeah, yeah.
So, uh, sad, rest in peace. It's gonna, again, we said it before. How we're gonna replace these people?
Hmm. And you and I were talking backstage. We don't want to even think about losing the few others that made an impact.
Right. And the funny thing is a lot of these people were working well, like into this age, because why? There's no one really there to fill those spots up.
Not only that, if they're still able to produce the voice like they used to, yes, it might sound a little older, but you still get the essence of the character when they're speaking.
Right,
That's why they're being called back. I mean that's why even into his 80s, Peter Cullen's asked to still voice Optimus Prime.
right. Because it's still there, man.
Yeah, it is.
It's even more wiser voice than when he was doing it back in the day.
Yeah. because
because
he was in his 40s when he started voicing Prime.
right, and you know, and now that he's older and wiser, he can deliver that role with that older, wiser voice
Hmm.
with Optimus Prime, and it adds more to it. So I hope they use the hell out of him here, and not in a bad way, right? Just get
Hmm.
him to do some stuff that he's able to do, right?
Yeah.
So at least we have a little bit of a library of his work that they can use for future products. As it goes along.
You know,
Not AI, not doing the AI crap, but actually, we're going to do this.
it's funny you should say that because I was on Facebook a few days ago and someone
Hmm.
said something very similar to that, where they were saying they need to record his voice, saying different lines, different
Hmm.
phrases.
Right.
This way, it could be preserved.
Hmm. And not just him. A lot of them out there.
Hmm.
And again, I'm not saying use it for AI. No, 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 none of that AI cloning voice stuff. Because I want to hear the real voice.
Yeah, yeah, and you know that's the thing with Transformers fans. We're always gonna circle back to Transformers. We're always gonna find a way to circle back to Transformers in some way, shape, or form. Till all are one. Yeah, but
Typical, typical, typical. Hey,
but
what do you think about the weather? Yeah, the weather's kind of cloudy and all that. It reminds me of that episode of Transformers where they went to.
yeah. Oh god. But I don't know if her family will ever hear this, but I just want to express my condolences to Miss Lofting's family, her brother, her grandchildren, her children, and just tell you that she made a great impact on our lives, especially us 80s kids growing up. And I know
Hmm.
you all will miss her. We will all miss her, but so grateful that she provided the voice of an iconic character like the Baroness.
Hmm.
May she rest in peace.
Hmm.
Cobra.
Rest in peace.
And one thing I did tell Baron I wanted to do while we were streaming here is take a look at some of her IMDb credits.
Yeah.
Of
Oddly
course,
enough, she. Oh, sorry. Oddly enough, she doesn't have a Wikipedia page. Believe it or not.
yeah. So obviously, like the article mentioned, she was in Ben 10 Omniverse, 4 episodes of that. She was in Quack Pack, 1 episode. G.I.
Hmm.
Joe, the reboot after A Real American Hero. She was in 21 episodes of that. And then she was in Total Recall as additional voices.
Hmm.
And G.I. Joe Operation Dragonfire miniseries, 5 episodes. Uh, the night before, she was the mom in that. She was a voice in Gem, Vera, and Lexa. That was 2 episodes. The Judge, she played June in 1 episode. Of course, G.I. Joe the movie. The Baroness, Knots Landing, she was in 4 episodes. Hotel, she was in 1 episode. G.I. Joe Arise, Serpentor Arise. And of course, the TV series. She was
Hmm.
in 38 episodes of that, voicing the Baroness. 6 episodes of Generation 1 Transformers. She was also in The Turkey Caper. And let's see what else. Command 5. Street Hawk. Which is which?
A sandwich.
Finder of Lost Loves. G.I. Joe, The Revenge of Cobra. Uh,
Cobra.
Amazons. Trapper John MD. The Christmas Tree Train. Carpool, G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, The Mass Device, Joysticks, and I won't be able to pronounce this to save my life. Meatballs and Spaghetti, The Junkman, Spider Man, and Star Blazers. And that's actually one of Phil McCracken's favorite series was Star Blazers.
Yeah,
So
mine too. Growing up. Yeah.
she was in 26 episodes of that, and also 26 episodes of Spider Man back in the 80s. But again, our condolences go out to her family and, of course, all her co workers that she had over the years, friends, and many, many others. Any final thoughts before we move on to the next article, Baron?
None. I think we hit it all there. These are treasures. These are national treasures, and we love them. And I just don't want to lose any for a while.
Yeah, yeah. No more for the rest of the year, please.
Yeah, we're done. We're done.
All right, so let me get the link out there for the next one. If you want to read this next article, Baron, I will put it in the private chat. And
Okay, sure. I'll do it. I'll do it. Just for you, Mike.
oh,
Just because Cash abandoned us, I'll do it for
he,
you.
he's in a turkey coma.
You know, he had an accident not too long ago. He's been paralyzed from the neck up. So, um,
And I'll go ahead and share my screen. And
oh, I found. You know what I found on Tubi? They got no. Was it Tubi? I think they got Land of the Lost. So
really,
okay, yeah, I think so. Either that or it's um, Amazon. You can watch some free stuff on they got that free. Oh, you're bringing up the page. Okay, I was gonna bring up the page.
yeah,
You
yeah,
probably
yeah.
so it doesn't mean okay. So I won't worry about that. Then I will worry about it. So
I just
time
gotta
to
follow
be.
along.
Mm-hmm. This, yeah, you got to pay attention. That's cool. Okay, time to get the professional voice going here. We have an article here from Bounty in the Comics, bylined uh, J.B. Augustine, and it was a couple days ago, November 28th. And oh, by the way, everybody, I want to wish everybody the first day of winter, in meteorological winter, as you should say. They always count that first day of the month as start. So, burn. James Gunn reassures fans the Batman Part 2 is not being canceled and he's not getting rid of Matt Reeves. Dun dun dun. Rumors that the Batman Part 2 and Matt Reeves' future hangs in the balance of gaining traction. Moreover, concerns over the prospects have reached the man in charge of DC Studios and all its creative decisions, James Gunn. Oh, that's the Riddler? He
Yeah,
doesn't look like the
yeah.
Riddler. He looks like the Diddler. Gunn I haven't seen this movie, so I can't really say. I just have not had the inkling to watch this movie. Gunn replied,
No,
oh,
no, no. I'm just gonna let you
okay,
continue.
okay. Gunn replied to a worried poster on Threads. Is that even still a thing? If there was any truth to the rantings that could be found in some corners of social media. Coming across as unfazed, he puny, whatever, the random example he was presented and stood up for Reeves. Like, why would you even believe a rando on social networking? A lot of times they are right. Of course not. If it was canceled, it would be canceled. Who has the time for charades? You are all about a charade, Sir James Gunn. I've been one of Matt's biggest cheerleaders. You should see me in my outfit when I'm doing it, and but we won't go any further on that. For years, since Cloverfield and the Ape movies, we are eagerly awaiting his script. That doesn't sound convincing. Too convincing when he's saying he's still waiting for a script. But okay, a report from a few months ago led many to believe Reeves' screenplay was ready, but Gunn recently cleared the air on that. I think that report was well intentioned, but it was mistaken, he said, also on threads. Who the hell uses that still? While reiterating, we are very much looking forward to it. Okay, before I go on, Mike should have a poll. How high on the bullshit meter do you think James Gunn is? 1 to 10, you know, and make sure there's an
Oh,
11.
I think he's right there at number 10. I really do.
Well, I think he turned it to 11, but that's beside the point. What has taken Reeves so long is anybody's guess, but his timing is suspicious. The Penguin's first season is in the books, and even if he announced today that the next Batman film script was finished, he'd still be under the wire with a release date 2 years away. He could make the movie in that time. He could make the movie in that time span, but only if he kept the schedule airtight. And we know how that goes, right? And there's Matt Reeves, fresh off of his. I think I know what the reason why. He was on his barbershop quartet tour, world tour. Started out in Peoria, and yeah, look at it. Yeah, that's what kept the script. To his credit,
He
Reeves.
might be performing at Disneyland or Disney World. Who knows?
Yeah,
But real quick before you continue, I do want to say
yeah.
hello to the Padawannabe. Good to see you, Padawannabe. Hope you and your family had a lovely Thanksgiving. Please continue, Barrett.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure he had that great tofu turkey. He's living the good life now, or the, healthy life. To his credit, Reeves won't have the same headaches this time that production on the Batman suffered. Yeah, they had to make sure they keep all the glittery stuff from surrounding Robert Patrick to the whole thing. You don't want a glittery Batman. He might think he can take his time. This is starting to get painful. Finalizing a draft shooting in post production may turn out to be a breeze, proving him right. Hypothetically, he doesn't have any competing Batman projects in production. The Brave and the Bold is in development with a director attached, but doesn't count. It's nowhere near ready, which Gunn has admitted in so many words. Still, it's not a good look for your chances when you have two prolonged crime saga shows pulled off the table, plus another Bat Family project waiting in the wings. Back to you, Mike.
Now, could there possibly be a chance that it actually is canceled? Of course. Do I think it's going to happen? No. And the reason why is because, just like our good friend Pop said, contracts.
Mm-hmm.
They would have to negotiate a way out of those contracts
Mm-hmm.
before they would cancel the sequel to the Batman.
Well, remember, they did cancel Batgirl, and they had to negotiate contracts off of that. And the big difference is they were already filming it, which was even more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
They were nearly done. I mean, I think they just had to do some, uh, you know, just some callback shots, and of course, whatever special effects and editing. Uh, so I would say, yeah, there is still that option that's going to happen. Do it early in production. You know,
Yeah.
it's happened so many times before, and I respect Pop's opinion. I know where he's coming from on that, and I think Pop is absolutely right on track as one possibility. It cannot be it cannot be ignored. Pop is absolutely right. The negotiation. I just follow through with the fact of the disaster of Batgirl and how everything went to hell on that one. I think that was costlier than going back and renegotiating all the contracts with the actors and actresses on this movie. Um,
Yeah, and again, I think even if it doesn't make its 2026 release date, Warner Brothers could possibly push back that release date.
right, which is another option on the board. But when does it become when you push it back? When does this become a you know loses its interest? You might say. I mean, the Batman had a lot of people coming out lukewarm,
Mm-hmm.
right,
Myself
and they
included.
hated. Yeah, some hating it. I don't think I really heard many people are that were sitting back saying, "Oh my God, this is absolutely fantastic." So, when the majority of people coming out saying this is lukewarm, you're going to do a sequel on it, but now you're going to have to start pushing it back. When does it have relevance, especially with them wanting to change the entire Batverse, the whole DC verse, the DCFU, or whatever you want to call it? You know, so being that this is outside of all that, this is a alternate universe Batman. When does it become moot? Because you got the other stuff there, and it didn't have enough to grab you in. Sure, you got the Penguin, which most of the people have been saying they love.
Yep, there, there's been a lot of positive feedback, including from Cash.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, I kind of like it. But no. But honestly though, he's out there. He's really praising the Penguin. But can you base that to help boost a second Batman film? Well, is Penguin going to be in it? What if he's not in it? Why is this guy taking so long to write a script? I got to guess. He did have a script done. He delivered it. They looked at it. He said, "This sucks. Give us some, work on it." And they threw it back at him. That's
Mm-hmm.
happened many times too. My God, I can't remember which project it was. At least three times. And I don't think that's very rare in the industry. You might say.
No, where it's scripts handed in, and then it's rejected. They say rewrite it. Even
Hmm.
the rewrites rejected, and
Hmm.
movies are in production hell because of the script itself.
Right. So then it comes down to what factor. If they want this to go and they need to get this going fast, then comes the next option. Are they going to boot his ass for someone who can come in and whip out a script and do it great? Because there's a lot of script writers that can whip out scripts and they're like, wow. Stephen J. Cannell. I mean, look how many scripts he whipped out on all his TV shows and
Mm-hmm.
and shows that he was working for before he had his own company. I mean, the man was brilliant. He could whip them out left and right. Are they going to find like a Stephen J. Cannell to do this for them that knows the universe and try to make this look like an impressive Batman film? So
Mm-hmm.
that's next option. There's so many options on the board, and the complete and total canceling of it, I would say, is still in play.
Anything's possible at this point,
Well,
especially
remember,
since they're not shooting the movie right now. It's
right,
not like it would cost them on that front.
right, and again, we're talking about money. I think Warner Brothers is hurting a lot more than we even imagine. I mean, how many two projects that are in development hell, you might say, because, for various reasons, and then you got another something in the wing. I think you're starting to get ahead of yourself. That's three Bat projects, right? Or Bat family projects. So who knows what that might be? Robin? Could it be a new attempt to do a Batgirl? Who knows? Uh, but they got that thing in the wings.
Well, don't
So
forget. If you don't want to do Robin, you can do his older. version, his older self, Nightwing.
Nightwing. Hmm. Exactly. But then that gets confusing. Who the hell is this Nightwing person?
Yeah.
Right? Uh, you know, they need to bring in a Robin for one of these projects. I have to admit, I think Batman works better alone. Uh, but even Dark Knight Return brought in a Robin for him, which he reluctantly accepted, and it was a girl because she was enamored with Batman, and Batman rescued her, and she made herself a Robin outfit to try to tag along and be his sidekick. Uh, you know, a beautiful Robin in that way. So, you know what? You want to be diverse in it? Bring in her as your Robin, and then you can, you know, there you go. People keep on forgetting Batman's supposed to be like 25 years old when he's starting out in a lot of his adventures.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to go by the Dark Knight Returns standard, he was in retirement for 10 years and now he's in his 50s. So Batman worked from his 20s to his 40s. But everybody is bringing out this older Batman all the
Mm-hmm.
time.
Older, more seasoned Batman. He's been doing this for a while. He knows exactly what he needs to do, how to do it,
Mm-hmm.
and the tools that it takes to get it done.
Right. If you bring in a Robin or Nightwing, you have to try to find some way of letting the audience know who this character is. Because there's a lot out there that don't know who Nightwing truly is. They still see Robin, Teen Titans, you have Robin, you know, all the other stuff. And, the original Batman show. And it comes out of your mouth naturally sometimes, Batman and Robin. He's my Robin to my Batman. All that stuff. So I'd say bring in the young girl as Robin. There you go. You got your DEI hire. Except make sure you bring in a young girl who's redhead and can act. I'd be for that.
That's the thing too. Finding, you know, a quality actor or actress who has the acting chops.
Right.
I mean, we're losing a lot of the greats, and who's going to replace them? It's something that
Right.
we've asked many times here on Pop Talk. Who's going to
Mm-hmm.
replace them? Who's ready to step up and fill that void?
Right. And really, honestly, they have been doing a shit job delivering us these superheroes. I love DC, but I honestly think that they have been doing a shit job bringing these characters in. And sometimes you don't even recognize what they are. It's like, this doesn't really feel like my Batman, the ones in the comic book.
Mm-hmm.
They need to go back and remember this is a fantasy, right? Batman doesn't need to wear armor. He doesn't need these padded suits. But what about, hey, let's go back to rule number one. This is a fantasy. We're used to seeing Batman in the blue and the black, or no, blue and the gray outfit. We're used to seeing him in the gray outfit. We're used to, he didn't have to have this armor, and still in the comic books, he still dresses like Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Bring in that look for everybody if you're going to do the show. Get back to the basics. Make Superman look like Superman. Make Wonder Woman look like Wonder Woman. Well, they did a good job making her with Gal Gadot. But that's your first step.
Yep. And it's good to see Tree Rock Productions, who brings up a good point. Very good point. Not only is AI replacing voice actors and legendary voices like James Earl Jones, but it can
Hmm.
also replace the actors on screen.
Right. I still say, go out there and find it. Michael Crichton film. I talked about it with Apion and Battle Wannabe, and he'll vouch for me if he's still in the chat and didn't fall asleep. But what a prophetic movie that was.
Mm-hmm.
It deals with what we're dealing with today, and that was like an 81, 82 film. Albert Finney was the star in there. So I mean, James Colburn was the villain. I mean, you can't get much better than James Colburn being your villain. But I recommend everybody going to watch that. And you can see that Michael Crichton was ahead of his time and was concerned about AI and technology. It was his usual warning film, and my God, he was right there on top of it. It's a little silly, but silly the movie, but do that. I don't know Free Recreation, you've seen it, but I recommend everybody here to find it. I think you can rent it, on the streaming or whatever. But yeah, find it, watch it. You won't be disappointed.
Well,
Won't be
I
disappointed.
definitely have to watch it because I've never seen it.
Yeah.
But believe it or not, even though I'm in my 40s, there are still some movies I haven't seen.
I'm in my 50s. There's a lot of movies I haven't seen. I know a lot about them. I just never saw them. How odd is that? No, I don't think things are. I think we're on level 11. Dial up to 11. James Gunn bullshit here. And you can't trust a single word that comes out of his mouth. Even if he walks up to you and goes, "Hi, I'm James Gunn," you have to sit back and go, "Are you? Are you really? The sky's blue. Are you sure? Is it really blue?" You can't trust the guy. He can state the true obvious thing, and you wouldn't trust him because he comes up with stories left and right, and has since
Okay.
he took over DC.
Some people would
A
say he's
few.
sketchy.
Oh, well, yeah. I'll say that so I don't get in trouble. I don't think we would need to put allegedly on that. He is sketchy. I'd dial that up more, but again, I don't want your show to get canceled. I don't want to be, even with the allegedly might cause issues. The worst decision they could have made for DC, and it shows.
I mean, if he and Peter Safran actually had a plan, they would be executing that plan to the fullest. Not a
Right,
little bit here, not a little bit there.
right.
They would have gone into David Zaslav's office and said, "This is our plan." And
Mhm,
David Zaslav would probably ask him, "Well, how soon can you implement that plan?
mhm.
Because what we have isn't working."
Right. And don't you dare come in here with a copycat whiteboard of the MCU. We are our own thing. We don't want to copy them. Well, we're gonna have phase one, phase two, phase three, phase 69.
Well, it's not 69, but it is 199, and I would love to see Baron get to 200 subs today.
Wow, how did I get that many, man? I didn't even know I was at 199. Baron, you're pathetic. No, but wow, wow. Now it makes me feel bad that I didn't get a chance to do a new episode of Contraband Police.
Well, maybe that should be a live episode.
I'll need your help.
Okay.
Mhm. But I wouldn't mind going live. I mean, live for one. I think I'm ready. I'm ready, coach. Put me in, man. Put me in, man. I'm ready, man. Yeah, yeah.
I will definitely help you out. If you have any questions, I will give you the answers. If I don't have the answers, I will find the answers for you.
Yeah, it's just basically. Oh, hi, Mouse. Um, Mouse is here. Want to say hi? Okay, he says hi. Um, yeah, it's just getting the streams going and all that, making sure because that the right frame rates and all that stuff. Yeah, I just that's all I need. I just need some
I
moral
can help you with
support,
that.
man. I need some
I can
moral
help you.
support. I know you can. Cash will forget that. He's still probably going to be like, oh,
No, no, no. If it were cash, you'd say, Do you really want to do that, man? I mean, is that something that you really want to do?" And then
uh,
I would just say to him, "Cash."
well, he's actually been wanting me to do longer episodes. So, um,
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
was
I'd go
telling
for
me
an hour.
about that the other night. He says, "What do you think if Baron does longer episodes of his Contraband Police streams?" That's
Mhm.
well, that's entirely up to Baron if he wants to, do a longer
Well,
episode.
yeah, I want to. Yeah, I mean, that's not. I figure these started. There's a lot of streams that are like 20 minutes, 30 minutes that you have out there. That queso idiot, he does like hour-long ones or whatever, and listening to him with his moronic screaming and all that stuff. Yeah, I'm calling you out, queso, but it's got the viewers. I know it's my rule not to call out other YouTubers, but my God, uh, when your ears
And
bleed.
I know I just took us off topic, but I just looked and I saw how close you were. And I just want to help you out, brother.
Why, thank you. Why, thank you. It does touch me. It just encouraged me to have to start doing more stuff on my channel. You're a lazy bird. Maybe I should talk about sumo wrestling.
If you have a lot of knowledge about that particular sport, then I'm sure there's an audience that will want to hear about it.
Well, being that we are off topic, and Cash kind of threw me off, with our monologue and stuff like that. Then we went, of course, right into sad news. Um, we've been. This is odd, It got NHK Japanese, the American feed. It's on YouTube, but they also have an app. But they've just had their Grand Sumo event, and we watched some sumo before, and but it is a fascinating sport to watch because it's one of those things that's extremely cultural. Sumo has, of course, that religious base to it.
Hmm.
Um, of course, your rules how to do things. Uh, you know, and of course, these big fat guys out there, it's like who the women just swoon over. God, I should have been a sumo wrestler. um, but
You heard him say it
it,
here first, folks.
well, I tell you, I mean, it'd be my dream. Go over there and slap some guys around, and then have a bunch of Japanese ladies coming after me. I mean, I'm in heaven. But on the serious side on that one, and I'm enjoying it. But you want to know who's really into it?
The long suffering.
Oh my word! She's going along. She's learning the words. She's good. When we have stories based in Japan, I need to get her to come in here and actually do the reading for it because she's over there and she's got the words down and what the various things are. It's a learning. You learn a lot off of that. And again, it's one of those things where you have that advantage to learn of other cultures, which in our case is all about. It's like we're trying to show Japan off to the English speaking world, and uh, you start seeing that diversity that the culture has. Not the
Hmm.
moronic, let's be one of the Logan boys running around like a bunch of morons and other stuff like that. Where you have the weebs go over there and just make a fool and embarrass them.
yeah, you're not seeing people do it just for clicks and views and
Right.
follows and
Hmm.
what have you.
We even have our favorite sumo wrestlers that we're cheering on.
Nothing wrong with that. I mean, I'm sure as you're watching,
Yeah,
you're going, yeah, get him.
that was
Oh,
the
come
wife.
on.
The wife was bursting out like me when I'm watching a rugby match. I'm just sitting there and I just kind of look over and she is doing all that. Like, yeah, whatever. Dogs are getting scared. The cats are running away, and it's like, wow. It's like, what is this? I'm happy to see it. I'm happy that
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know
yeah.
that. Yeah, but it's just it still strikes you funny. Uh, but yeah, I mean that's how you learn, and you can apply these things to if you're a writer or something like that, or game maker or whatever, you can use these to help expand stuff. You can take like sumo and upgrade it into some futuristic thing, and you know voila. You just watch what they have. You just want to change it for what the story is all about. You don't want to be insulting about it either. But
No,
it's
no.
like this is this is how fantasy writers, fiction writers, science fiction writers came up with so many stuff. They observed, they read stories, they learned other cultures, they implemented them. My God, all the different cultures in Dune that Frank Herbert put in there. Same thing with the Foundation series with Isaac Asimov. I mean,
Hmm.
if you need to learn more if you want to be serious. You just
Well,
don't want to be.
what
I
about
learned this from a video game. You know.
what about the different cultural aspects that they took from Russia and then you know
Mhm.
ancient Japan and applied
Yeah.
them to the Klingons?
Right. Exactly. That whole honor thing, along with some of the Nordic. I mean, there's a mix up between the two in there.
Hmm.
Honestly. Uh but it takes the fact that you have to be worldly, and despite what the hell is the name of that dingbat? The one that made sure you got the beaver shot in Basic Instinct. Sharon Stone. When Sharon Stone's up there with with the killer himself, uh, Alec Baldwin, shaming us. Again, I want to go back to the basic thing. They hate us. These people, these actors, actresses, they hate us. They look down on us. I'm not saying all of them, but I'm talking about you know, the ones that are usually out there causing problems, and
Yeah,
they're saying these stupid things.
you could almost say that we're talking about the ones that fled the blue sky.
Right, exactly. Right. And she's out there shaming Americans, saying how stupid we are, and how we don't even have a passport or leave this country. And because of that, we're ignorant. Well, excuse me, miss, I can get on any jet anytime I want and fly anywhere with my caviar, right? A lot of us are in that middle class, working class situation. We do our 40-hour weeks, if not more. Uh, but even traveling through the U.S., there are such rich cultural differences in certain areas. Even how they talk in this country.
Hmm.
You have 50 states, think of them as 50 countries. And each one has their uniqueness. There's something about them. There's something culturally about them because of people who came in with the immigration, all across the board. And then they grew even more off of that when they got here. I mean, you got the Minnesotans there, don't you know? And we have hot dish. Um, or you go to the South and you sit back and smile because some lovely Southern gal goes, "Oh, bless your heart."
Oh,
That's
I
what.
know full well what that means.
I do too, and that's just it. Someone smiling, you go, "Yep, he's a newbie."
Yeah. Well, it's funny because when I worked retail, I had an assistant manager who was from Oklahoma. So one of the know fun little debates. It didn't get anywhere near chaotic or anything, but the fun little debates, little back and
hmm
forth that he would
Yeah.
have with some of the associates was
hmm
Oklahoma barbecue versus vinegar
Oh.
based Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina barbecue.
hmm
And
Yeah.
the back and forth that you would get from that. And
Yeah. Wet or dry? Do you have dry rub or do you put
mhm,
sauces on that fight? KC, Chicago. I mean, yeah. Oh my word. And the thing is you can have barbecue or ribs so different. Even pizza. I mean,
mhm,
you got Chicago style, you got New York style. One of the Red Savoys here in Minnesota, they claim to have a Minnesota style. There's no such thing as a Minnesota style, really. But it's just like his marketing gimmick. But then you got the tofu stuff that Cash eats out in California. I mean, the different styles. I want the spinach on there, and I want to have like
mhm,
kale, and I want my tofu. It doesn't matter where you go. There's gonna be something different. So sure and stone in that aspect, shove it up your. Oh, you should probably like it anyways. But then you have stuff like NRK. It's like you want to know something. People don't like the media here, and this is one of the things they were bitching about. The new media. They're all afraid of YouTube. They're all afraid of Twitter. They're all afraid of Rumble because we're not real journalists. We're not. We go out there and we work hard. Bullshit on that. Some of you guys never leave the friggin' office, and you call yourself journalists and reporters, and you make up stories. You go and rip off the feed from. I'm sure they don't have those machines anymore because it's all on the computer. But rip off the feed from the AP wire and run into the
yep.
studio quickly, change some words to make it look like you have, and that's their basis of doing their news broadcast. We don't need to send anybody there. We got AP, and AP is usually lying through their ass. So don't tell us that journalism started like this. Obviously not on a technological level, but it came from the people telling other people's story. What's happening. Did you hear about this? And we're not even talking about the gossiping. It's like it's a serious thing, because it's relaying information. It's not doing the well. Then you got, of course, your little gossip columns that were in papers, by the way. Are you guys going to fess up to that stuff, the gossip stuff? No, no, no. But they had them, so you got your gossip that way. Well,
Mhm.
I'm sure they started saying that about TV and radio when it was going on. But now comes the dangerous thing. We, the people, I love seeing that. We, the people, have controls of this stuff. They want to regulate left and right. Kamala Harris was screaming about how you have to do this. Uh, Elizabeth Warren, and of course, and Kamala Harris following through with it, were screaming about how X isn't following the rules because Facebook doesn't have a certain orange man on there. So how can you have it? It's like, what rules? There are no rules. X is its own thing. They can do what they want,
Mhm.
right? They don't have to follow along. What you want is suppression, right? So we get suppression here on YouTube. That's why this show is also on Rumble, on X, Twix.
Occasionally, I do stream it on Twitch. Not that often. Sometimes Kick.
Yeah, right. So we got all these that we're broadcasting to, and we really want to talk about something. Uh, we do it exclusively on Rumble, like when we had the debates, like we had the election nights, all
Hmm.
that. Because why? Well, we know you are a cesspool here of morons, YouTube. At least we can get away with saying stuff over there. And I'm not saying nasty, mean, or whatever. We can speak our mind and our opinions without them being censored by the thought police. So
Yeah.
yeah, they're scared of us, and they have every right to. Why? MSNBC is virtually gone. CNN has lost so many watchers. They don't have, they're hemorrhaging. ABC, NBC, CBS, they're hemorrhaging. Everybody's abandoning them to what? This, because they hear a real voice. They hear real passions. I'm not saying I'm a journalist. No, I'm an
I'm not
opinion
saying
piece.
I'm a journalist. I don't
No.
consider myself a journalist.
Yeah, and that's just it. They want to confuse that. I mean, when they scream about Fox News, right? Not that I'm being a big defender of Fox here, but when they say about how wacky conservatives over there, but you want to take a look at it when they're delivering news stories. It's not. It's the opinion. They've always been mad at the fact that they give fair treatment to both sides on there. You might want to laugh, but liberals have gone on to Fox say that they've never been in a more welcoming space. Even their own liberal ones that they go to CNN, they don't feel welcomed, even though they're part of the ilk, the snobbery. And if you're a conservative going that way, forget about it.
Yeah.
You're treated like class A shit. Not the liberals that go to Fox, but it's a true opinion place. One of the big important ones they had in the beginning was Sean Hannity, was Hannity and Combs.
Yeah.
Of course, Combs after a while left and unfortunately passed away. But you did have that liberal back and forth, one on one, right? Which is great to hear. You're hearing both sides. They hated that. Why? They didn't want the one side, so they just blanketed saying that this is just a propaganda, blah blah blah. No, you're getting the free speech there, and yeah, you guys can run your thing as you want. The First Amendment is about the government not going in there and saying you can't do this, which was threatened to us and still is threatened to us by people like Kamala, people like John Kerry, people like Elizabeth Warren, all those twat waffles. But this is controlled anarchy that we're in. And I'm meaning anarchy in the true meaning of the word, not the morons that walk around with screaming anarchy with a book of Marx in their back pocket, or the Communist Manifesto. But people that there's no government, but there are laws. We follow a certain etiquette, and etiquette in some ways is a law that
Hmm.
we impose upon ourselves. But there's no government. It's the Wild West, baby, right? So I mean it in that aspect, not the moron aspect. And that's great. It's great that we have this voice here. And what comes out even better is we have a choice of watching news around the world because there's so many English feeds. You can watch Al Jazeera if you want. And why not? Get their side of the story. You have the guy that's
Here,
pirate. Hmm?
here's so many different perspectives from so many different countries with their viewpoints on what's happening here, what's happening elsewhere.
Right. And even if it is biased on their side, at least you're getting what they're coming about.
Mhm.
I'm upset that they don't have RT around no more because they don't want us to hear anything about what Russia is saying. I do. Look how mad they were at Tucker Carlson because he talked to Putin.
Yeah.
But were they upset when they went and talked to Saddam Hussein? What was it? Wolf Blitzer, I think, did it. I can't
I
remember.
think it was Blitzer. Don't quote me on that. I could be off.
Right. So it's okay to go and talk to Saddam Hussein, but all of a sudden you go talk to Putin. It's like, oh my god, no. You know what? I want to hear what he's saying. Doesn't mean I'm going to believe it, because I sure as hell don't believe Zelensky. It's nice that we got this guy that's pirating North Korean TV, and he's actually able to start putting in the English translation because you can watch their news.
Yeah.
A half hour of their news. Why is that important? You want to see what little Kim is wanting to do. And what better than through their propaganda piece? It's important to hear that and know what's going on there, as it is to watch Arirang News from South Korea. Of course, the before mentioned NHK from Japan. 24/7 News 24/7 from France. Of course, Sky News England, BBC News, not so much. They're such a biased piece. And you know what? I'll just sit back and say the same thing about Sky News Australia. Extremely biased, but it's still fun to watch. you know, uh, so we have options now.
Yeah,
Parents
we do.
don't blow it up your ass. We are educated. You're
I
just
mean,
waffle that
it,
pretends. And hmm?
here's how versatile channels are on YouTube, for example. DJ
Hmm.
Ronnie G. You want to
Yeah,
learn about astronomy?
just quit
Well,
showing us your moon.
watch his channel. He'll talk
Hmm.
about the planets. He'll talk about you know why certain things are occurring the way they are, and
Right. And then the last 5 minutes or so is this astrology report to people. So if you're a Leo, do that. No, I'm kidding, DJ. He's just upset they don't have a turtle constellation. But no, he's extremely knowledgeable. Would anybody call DJ Ronnie G a moron? No, you'd be a moron calling him that. He's a
no,
nerd.
we call him a nerd.
Yeah, or a
He calls
nerdle.
us nerds.
Yeah. Why? We're nerds. We really are. I mean, no, we have them around to make us look smart.
And if I need to keep Barrett in line, well, that's why the long suffering's here
Yeah.
to help me
But
keep him in line.
yeah, clean your desk, lovey.
And where's
That
Cash? He's in a turkey coma. No, seriously. He told me he wanted to spend the weekend with his family, and I said, that's fine.
there's
You don't have
cash.
to tell me. And then, of course, we have Phil, 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 Phil,
Hmm.
Phil, 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 Phil. Hey, Phil, what's up? He says
No, it was
there is no
turkey.
cash money. He suffered very much from no pop talk and he was very depressed. We all must be there to support cash money as he struggles through this. He's not struggling. He's not suffering.
Well, he's suffering from the tryptophan overdose. So
Maybe from that, but
yeah, yeah. But yeah, there's no turtle nebula.
support cap. Yeah, excuse me. Support cash money in his deep sadness. I don't think that man can get sad. He's got no emotion. He's got no feelings. He's not human.
No, it's just trying to make sure he doesn't drown from his drool laying there in his coma state. Okay, roll him to the side. Let's get the drool bucket under there. Okay, everything's fine. Oh, by the way, long suffering, my dear, lovely, lovely, lovely Pookie. I told him about Sumu, and I told him how you've been reacting to Sumu. I don't know if you heard that. That's kind of how this rant started, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry. I'm so sorry. I
Well,
guess it's
we're pretty much done talking about James Gunn and the Batman
yeah.
sequel. And,
Oh, James Gunn, who's that?
yeah, he's the co-CEO of DC Studios who says that they're going to work on this project and that project and the other, and you're just thinking to yourself, okay, and probably only one, if none of those movies are coming out. Yeah, we know the Superman movie's coming out. I'm not interested in seeing a new Superman film.
Oh, there's a big thing impacting. I'll just slowly take my boots on here. They could have done that poster a lot better. Oh God.
What? The world's in danger? Oh, that's nice.
He's acting like Cash Money. If Cash Money was Superman, yeah, let me get my boots on.
Are are you sure I have to go out there and save the world? I mean, right now?
I got
Eh,
money to count.
You know what's gonna happen there? We're gonna get a message on Discord saying, "Okay, you goobers."
Actually, I just checked it. I haven't seen something yet, so
Oh, don't worry. Once he watches this,
oh yeah.
you goobers, you
Well, he does
knucklehead.
tune in. He does tune in when we're live too, so you never know. It can
Yeah,
happen anytime. But no, and to kind of quickly follow up on this, Sharon Stone, you're bad enough. I can see the crazy cat lady in your eyes. You know, get the hell out, just like all you people promised. Quit threatening us with a good time and failing through with that. But then the nerve of Alec Baldwin to lecture us on this. Man, come on. You killed a mother and wounded another man
hmm
because you're a insufferable twat waffle. You go on Saturday Night Live in these last couple ones and you flop and fail miserably. I'm sure the fact that you killed somebody was one of the factors that helped out with that. But you're not the end all be all, Mr. Baldwin. You're tainted goods. I don't think there's many people that like you anymore out here in the real world. Stay in that chamber, that echo chamber pod of yours, spewing your bullshit, but get the hell out of this country, like you promised.
Well, other celebrities are leaving. He might as well follow suit.
hmm Well, the Ellen one was blown out of proportion because she's been living there for a couple years already. She's just making it known that she has no intention to come back or whatever anytime soon. But she was already over there
No
with her
loss
wife.
there, as far as I'm concerned.
You know what? I didn't even hear a damn thing about her until they started, making a big deal that she's in England because Trump went. No, no, she went under there during Joey, so or whatever. So Ellen, is she still relevant? No, then why are you talking about her? And my God, she. Oh God, never mind. I'm not even gonna go there. But yeah,
Yeah.
and Bono, come on, Bono. If you need to, I will buy you a 1987 Yugo. I'll make sure there's a good tape deck in there. I'll buy a couple cassettes of your band, YouTube, get it in there. We'll set you in there and get you all safety in with the seat belts and stuff like that. Uh, the car will have no reverse, my apology, but you won't need that. We'll make sure you're pointing that direction just right, and then you just got it, and just go woo, because you promised to do that. Come on, do it. Go out with the 87 Yugo. They'll be talking for decades about that. You hear what Bono did? Yeah, with an 1987 Yugo. Yeah, I've been kind of touching around it, but just look it up, folks.
And DJ Ronnie G says, "Oh my God! Speaking of sumo, I started recording sumo on my DVR. Ooh, you got a sumo watching buddy.
Wow.
Awesome one put me onto it a few weeks ago. And yes, we were referring to
Yeah.
Ellen
Ellen.
DeGeneres.
No. Ellen DeGeneres.
I know I said it wrong. I know.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've seen that unification video. We actually watched it on the Rumble side a couple weeks ago, and I had my thoughts. I wish there was some dialogue to it,
Yeah.
and
hmm
some of the AI did kind of creep me out. I
but
mean,
it was. But
I
the,
realized they had some the actors in there as
mhm.
stand-ins to do the motions and everything, but
Yeah, his body double.
I'm like you, Tree Rock. I'm not going hyperbolic over it like a lot of other people.
I'm not crying. You're crying. No. But the thing is what the thing that mellows me on this is the fact that this is complete with Shatner's blessing, and he was working on it. So
Yeah,
at least it wasn't one of those stunts like they did with George Carlin.
true,
Which
true.
sumo are you watching, by the way, DJ? Are you watching the one on NRK or sorry NHK, or is there a different one you found? Yeah, it's a long suffering put in there. Oh yeah, Grand Sumo. Yep, we're watching the same one. Don't give anything away. I haven't finished watching it all. I'm on day 12. I need to go to 13 now. But I'm
So
getting
we
a.
are.
But
Oh,
I
go
love
ahead.
how the
Go ahead.
Ukrainian sumo guy got smeared. Uh, yeah, they have a Ukrainian that's on the sumo. One of the sumo wrestlers. Shishi, they call him. His name. Back to you, Mike.
And we do have another Batman related article that we're going to discuss from Book News by Matt McGloin. And the long suffering says, Watataki. Or I probably said that wrong.
Yeah, that's her favorite wrestler, or sumo
Excuse me.
wrestler. Oh, she'll tell you how it's pronounced. She made sure she got that down. She's firing off these names left and right. I'm going, I'm serious, Mike. We need her to do, if we have anything with Japan, she needs to read it.
I think we should just have our own pop talk one day just to talk about why she likes sumo. And
Yeah.
have DJ on there too.
And why she even likes me.
Well, yeah, that's the main part.
Mm-hmm.
So, what exactly do you see in there?
I look like a sumo wrestler. I guess she likes watching fat guys slapping into each other. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. What? Yeah.
Uh, so,
I love HK.
well, I will admit, I will check it out one day.
Okay.
So, we have this article from Cosmic Book News about a new Batman animated movie in development.
Sorry. Sorry. I just
Wanna talk? Uh, Hog.
Kaji.
Kaji.
A lot of
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
A lot of
Go
talk of
ahead.
Kaji.
Go ahead, Phil. Riff on my bad pronunciation of Japanese names.
Sorry, that broke me up when I saw that. I love you, Pookie.
All right. So the article says, though not officially announced, it's learned that a new Batman animated movie is in development at Warner Brothers. The animated film looks to follow the recent releases of the three-part Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths animated movie and the two-part Watchmen animated movie. The new Batman animated movie also looks to be in three parts. It goes on to say,
Oh,
what's the
nice one.
new Batman animated movie? Thanks to Eagle Eye fans, two listings confirm Warner Brothers is developing a new Batman animated movie. The listings reveal Batman Nightfall Part 1 is in development, which adapts the popular DC Comics story where Batman gets his back broken by villain Bane and Azrael becomes his replacement. The Batman Nightfall Part 1 animated movie was first spotted on EIDR, which links to the film's IMDb. EIDR is a global registry that assigns unique identifiers to movies and TV shows, making it easier to track and manage content across platforms. According to both EIDR and IMDb listings, Jeff Wham Wamester or Whamester, however you want to pronounce it, is the director of Batman Nightfall Part 1. Jeff Wamester was the director behind the three-part Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths movie and Kite Man Hell Yeah series, the Legion of Superheroes animated movie, Justice Society, World War II, and Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy animated series. Wallmester has also served as storyboard artist on a slew of other DC animated films, including Batman The Long Halloween Part 1, Batman Soul of the Dragon, and more. Speaking of Guardians of the Galaxy, with James Gunn in charge of DC, maybe Dave Bautista will get to voice Bane in the animated films. Don't really care about that.
I don't
Just,
either.
just, just being honest, folks. Don't really care
Yeah,
if Batista voices a character or not. The
I don't
comic
either.
story.
But if he does, will he wear a pearl necklace?
Who knows what he'll wear in the recording booth? The
They need
comic.
Joe Rogan to do it. You can play Bane.
Okay. All right. The comic storyline is also in three parts, which, as we guess the animated movies, will follow Nightfall, Night Quest, and Night's End. It says Nightfall. Nightfall introduces Bane, a brilliant and ruthless adversary who orchestrates a massive breakout at Arkham Asylum, unleashing Gotham's worst criminals. Batman, physically and mentally exhausted from recapturing the villains, faces Bane in a climactic showdown. Excuse me. Sorry about that, folks. In their battle, Bane famously breaks Batman's back, leaving Bruce Wayne incapacitated and Gotham vulnerable. Knight's Quest. Knight's Quest follows two parallel arcs, the Crusade and the Search, while Bruce Wayne seeks healing and a way to reclaim his mantle. Jean Paul Valley Azrael, his chosen replacement, takes on the role of Batman. However, Jean Paul's extreme methods and deteriorating mental state alienate Gotham citizens and allies, revealing the challenges of upholding Batman's ideals. Knight's End. In Knight's End, Bruce Wayne returns to reclaim the mantle of Batman from Jean Paul Valley, who has become increasingly unstable. Bruce undergoes rigorous physical and mental training before confronting Jean Paul in a final battle for Gotham's future, balance to Gotham City. All right. So, my question to anyone who may have read these particular stories, I have not, but are you excited that there might possibly be a three-part animated movie about these particular stories?
I must. I mean, I know of these stories, but because obviously when people were saying, "Oh, Batman's back broke" and all that, there was news on it. The one thing I have to sit back and say, it's always kind of encouraging with the animated because most of the time the animated are the ones that are closer to keeping the legacy of the comic book characters
Mhm.
alive. I mean, yeah, there were some trips that weren't perfect, but nobody is, right? So don't think I'm simping saying it's all great. Um, no, I'm not. But like that Batman one that they did where you know in the 40s or whatever, and they just I don't know, enough of the DEI Batman. Let's get back to real Batman, right? Um, so that part excites me because I know at least they're going to hopefully keep it in good shape. I've yet to watch the Crisis Infinite Earth. I don't know if you did. I don't know how much of the
No, I haven't
stuff.
watched them yet. I did see a couple of clips from it, but I haven't watched all three parts yet.
Yeah, but the stuff that I've seen, obviously, I think we've all said this. The Killing Joke was just dismal. It was almost disrespectful to the original source on that one, especially with that bullshit first part of the story, which had nothing to do with the Killing Joke.
Yeah, because
Um,
I'll tell you one thing about the Killing Joke. When I saw that it came out on Blu-ray and DVD at the time, I thought, you know, I've never read the comic book it's based on, but usually DC animated movies are a hit out of the ballpark. So I picked it up. I watched it. I'm going, what the heck did I just watch?
Right. Imagine my disappointment watching. It's like, okay, so we got this big filler part leading up to the other half. It's like you got so much material in just that one comic book. You don't need that filler. This is psychological. This is Alan Moore, for Christ's sake, writing this, right? So you got a mental warp playground to play with, especially with the Joker and his warped memory. Is what he's remembering true or not? No,
Mm-hmm.
people start saying, "Oh, look at it. We finally got a backstory on the Joker." Did we? Did we really? Uh, you know, uh, so enough of that. They could have had it out there. And yeah, I mean, I love the fact. I mean, I like the fact that they did do the animated series style artwork in there as well as, of course, having the main voice cast. But I would have loved to have seen him try to do Brian Boland's work like he had in the comic book
Mm-hmm.
because he's such a illustrator, great illustrator, all the way back to 2000 AD and other works between here and there. Uh, he's just great. I think I can't remember who it was. It was Chuck Dixon or Mike Barron who was sit back saying, "Yeah, he's he's a good artist when you can get him when he can finally finish because he takes so long doing his. He's such a perfectionist. I
Mm-hmm.
would love to see that artwork, right?
I mean,
Uh,
there's nothing wrong with being a perfectionist. You want to make sure that you deliver the work that the company is expecting you to deliver.
right, and he delivers. He delivers. Um, so that'd be nice on there. But if you couldn't take Alan Moore's, you know, I hesitate to call it a graphic novel, kind of like a graphic novella. Uh, if you can't, or a super comic, if you can't do that and fill an hour, what the hell are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you could place fillers in there as long as you keep it in theme to what the story is about. Flashbacks to things that we've never seen between Joker and Batman. Uh, Various other things like that. But no, it was a disappointment. So I hope they do it right.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. But the thing is they have a good track record, a lot better track record than their live action films. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah, and don't worry about asking the question, Tree Rock. I mean, we
No,
all
no,
have to
no.
ask these questions. What are they going to rate this movie when it eventually does get released? When all three parts eventually get released, and is there going to be any messaging
Right.
put into any of the three parts?
I'm always nervous about that. I'm always nervous about that last part, the messaging. Well, I mean, the Killing Joke was R,
Yeah.
so it's not out of the question for it to be R rated. It won't be PG, so it'll probably be an upper PG-13 to an R rating is my guess on this. Um, but we'll see how they execute it. It's all in the execution. So, but yeah, that's a good question to ask. It really is. Everything about that is good to ask. I don't think it will be woke because um, the animators usually don't necessarily play around with that a lot, at least on the DC side, and they need to make money. The last thing they want to do is piss off fans. That's why we have problems with that Batman Part Two and the other projects. I think they're hurting and they need to make money. And animation, they've been always superb in.
Yeah. That's always been one of Warner Brothers' strong points is their
Mm-hmm.
animation.
Right. So, I mean, look at The Dark Knight Returns when they did that. The only thing I missed was the inner monologue that Batman / Bruce Wayne had that was in the graphic novels.
Yeah.
or the 4-part series, and then the graphic novel uh, altogether. But I missed that part because there were some great lines that Batman had that was in his mind. But I understand why they didn't do it. A lot of people don't like those inner monologues. Um, but I think some would have been good.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see how this turns out.
Hmm.
In the
Batman.
meantime, before
I'm
we get
Batman.
to
Batman.
our other articles, we're going to take a break from articles here and actually take a look
Huh?
at the weekend box office.
It's out. Woo!
It is out, my friend.
My comrades. Let us see what your American filth is doing. Trying to pollute my great country of Afghanistan. You will not. We will keep it out. That's why I'm border guard. I'm a contraband police.
Contraband Baron Orman tag.
No, I'm not contraband. I take contraband. I don't even
Yeah,
take bribes.
you're contraband. Well, what is this American comic doing in here?
I must take comic for inspection. Yes, I must inspect this and make sure that it does not defile the great glory of Afghanistan. Da da. Where's my cigarettes and vodka?
So we have the weekend box office, and the number one movie for this weekend was Moana 2, which was a movie my sister actually wanted to see, but she hasn't seen the first one.
Uh,
But
so this is the reason why Rock was shooting his mouth off. I didn't even know that came out, and I'm serious. Shows you how.
you're welcome, Tree Rock. It's why I provide the links for the articles and when we look at the box office, so everyone else can read along and look along with us. But
Yeah,
Moana 2,
that's why we're better than the rest of the media out there on YouTube. We want to make sure our people who watch and listen are informed and they can see with their own eyes and not just trust us.
yeah,
I don't want
I-
that.
that's something that started in the beginning of Pop Talk.
Hmm.
So Moana 2 has made $135. Well, $135 million, Mike. Come on, yeah, yeah. A Disney
Woo!
film. I will laugh at myself. I will criticize myself for that. Yeah, Disney film has only made $135 this weekend. It's a bomb.
Well, with the economy, that would still be a hit in
Yeah,
this economy.
but no, it's 135.5 million that it made this weekend. And as far as the
Medium.
worldwide total is concerned, it has actually, because
Whew.
you have to remember isn't just a 3 day, it's the Thanksgiving weekend thrown in there too, because
Hmm.
this movie, I think it was either Tuesday or Wednesday that it actually debuted. So far
Oh, really?
domestically, yeah, excuse me. So far it's made 221 million exactly domestically, 165 million internationally, and a total of 386,300,000 worldwide. So it's off to a good start.
Yeah, and the thing is going to see a movie on like Thanksgiving has started becoming a tradition with a lot of families, and been for a while. So
Hmm.
we
Yeah,
ate. Now it's time for a movie.
and yes, tis the season for Die Hard, which, despite what some of our good friends might say that it isn't, it is a Christmas movie. It takes place at a Christmas party around Christmas time. So hence, it is a Christmas movie.
Well, well, the thing is we need to have our own Christmas movie marathon. Die Hard, Rambo, or First Blood. Because that's a Christmas film. You can see the decorations in the sheriff's office, so that's a
You
Christmas
you can you
film.
can you can
Hmm.
you can.
So
Well, I mean, we already have one for sure movie that we're going to be watching for this month, and that's going to be on the 15th, and that's going to be National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
You
And,
told
and
me it
I,
was going to be Jingle All the Way. I'm mad.
no, no, Baron, no, Baron, no, Baron. But I already know you want me to save the deck for you.
Yep. Turkey neck.
Save the neck for me, Mike. And then number two this weekend was Wicked with 80 million, but of course, again, with it being the holiday Thanksgiving week, it so far has made 262,425,510 domestically. Internationally, it's made 96,845,000 for a total of 359,270,510. Now, as I said when I released my out of the theater review, I wasn't giving it from my perspective. I was giving it from my sister's perspective. My sister, who loves her musicals, loves Broadway, thought it was phenomenal. It was exactly what she, excuse me, expected, exactly what she wanted. And that is what I like to hear because, you know, she been talking about it with me off and on, as the movie was being made, then as it gets closer to the release date, because she was looking forward to this.
I can
And
just see her vibrating the day before, going, almost there, almost there.
she
Like
was
just
excited.
like
She
me
was
before
excited
Empire Strikes Back.
because we'd gone into a couple stores that were selling Wicked merchandise, so she picked up a shirt and a couple other things, and she wore that shirt the day we went, and
Mm-hmm.
she had a good time, and that's what I was happy about. And she even said, "I know musicals aren't your thing, but she wanted me to go with her. I did. I'll admit, I even admitted it to her. I did fall asleep for a little bit during the movie, and I also had to take two bathroom breaks. Well, Bear and I wasn't gonna sit there and you know, you,
you,
you know,
you didn't have the piss jug with you.
no,
It was a Transformers movie. You'd have the piss jug with you, but no, this was Wicked.
but
So
but I will say it did have nice cinematography. The directing was real good, but there were some parts of the movie that my eyes started to roll and going, "Oh, come on, oh please."
like
But
when they sing, "I am woman, hear me roar." No, that's it.
but
The
to
one.
be
Hmm?
fair, that's always been my reaction watching musicals. Oh, come on, please.
Of course,
That hasn't changed as I've gotten older.
of course, Mike has to left off the part when he did fall asleep. He did start snoring, and his dream has always been to have a bunch of women swarm at him. But he had that dream come true, but it was a nightmare because they weren't swarming on him for the way he wanted them to. It's like a massive attack. And then the thing is, his sister was leading it. I mean, never snore in middle wicked. Those women, I tell you, whoo.
No, but there were a lot of smiley faces. It is a good movie to go see with your family, friends, wife, husband, significant other. Like I said in my review, and it's just that if you're really not into musicals, well, all I'm gonna say is do what I've had to do for many years and buck up and watch it with your significant other or your sister, someone in your family who loves musicals.
I still want to see Cannibal the musical.
Okay, well, yeah. And
Oh
here's
God!
a movie that nobody asked for.
And we
Nobody asked.
didn't need.
No, the first Gladiator could stand on its own, no problem.
Hmm. Horrible history, but a good film.
Yeah, yeah. It's done better internationally than it has
Mm-hmm.
domestically. I guess
I'm
that
not surprised.
worldwide total isn't too bad, but I don't know
Yeah,
what the production budget was for Gladiator 2. I can look that up real quick.
he's doing the cheat thing like I do. Yeah, I mean, absolutely disgusting. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Just hearing enough of that film, it should be Gladiator DEI. Look, my sword is limp. Will you help me make my sword stronger? Gladiator 11.
Yes, Gladiator 11, the
you know,
best
I
film ever made.
I went and saw that Malcolm 10, and it's like, well, where's I want to see the other ones. Malcolm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and will they come out with a Malcolm 11? I'm still confused about that.
Yeah. Okay, so according to what I'm able to find, I'll go ahead and share it here, and then we'll go back to the box office. But Gladiator 2 budget balloons to 310 million amid reports of runaway spending. Okay, well,
Oh, I'm not surprised.
not surprised at all.
They
And
thought they probably thought they're going to have the greatest whatever. Yeah, it's
yeah,
yeah.
it's made 320 million for a movie. I don't recall hearing people clamoring for a second one after the first. And no, it doesn't have the same effect that Top Gun and Top Gun Maverick had. I'm sorry, it doesn't.
No. So, have you seen any Gladiator movies?
Gosh, how many times was that line used?
I don't know, but it's a good time to use it. The first film is definitely this one. No subtitles.
Gladiator 2, no subtitles because that is too smart for our audience. Gladiator 2, we need to make more money.
yeah.
Gladiator 3, we didn't make enough money.
Uh, I don't think there will be a 3. I really
No.
don't. Not with those numbers. So, was he Gladiator? I just want to know.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
I see what you did there,
Yeah.
Baron. And Red One, it's a movie where The Rock acts like The Rock, and it's got Chris Evans. I saw the
So,
trailer. I wasn't interested, but if anyone has seen the trailer or has seen the movie, did you like it?
from the grosses. I mean, I don't know how much it costs to make, but
That's
there
that's
those.
what that's what I'm going to look up right now.
Yeah. So we got 2 rock films in the top 5, top 10. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
This see, they're sinking like a rock. Hollywood is
Well,
sinking. I tell you.
The Rock says you're going to line up at the movie theater. You're going to pay your, $20, $25, and you're going to see your candy ass in the auditorium.
The Rock, yeah. The Rock says, "Take more steroids to look like me."
Uh, according to what the Brave search engine is saying, I'll go ahead and share it. It's saying that the budget was 250 million due to production issues and excuse me, delays, including Dwayne Johnson's chronic lateness and lack
Uh,
of professionalism on the set. Well,
uh,
well,
uh,
well.
uh, 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 uh,
Well,
sorry.
okay, okay. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
I was on the ball. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
What the hell you say?
Rock is a prima donna.
He's always been a prima donna.
Hmm.
Even when he was part of WWE, he was a prima donna. All right,
Mhm.
let's go ahead and share the screen again.
Yes, please. Share the screen. Make us happy.
Yeah. So,
You are a performing monkey right now. You're going to share the screen and make us happy.
so the worldwide total is 148,654,720, and with its production budget, I don't know if it's going to make it back.
No, no. It looks like it's, yeah. Wow, the best Christmas pageant is still in the top five. I mean,
Yeah,
weak,
yeah,
but
it's still in the top five, and it's made $32,049 in total.
now I do want to take a step back and say something here. Oh, yeah, not that, but I'm just talking about in general with all those numbers.
Uh huh.
Did you ever think you'd see numbers like this around Thanksgiving for movies?
No, no. I can remember growing up, and even before everything went to the crapper, movies were doing pretty well at the box office,
Hmm.
and part of the reason it makes me think that movies aren't doing so well at the box office. I mean, go ahead and say, well, that's the obvious, Mike. Is one, ticket and concession prices at various movie theaters, and number two, the way Hollywood has been preaching at everybody.
Hmm. Yeah, they're making bad films. People don't got money. Uh, all that across the board. Why? And they want to try to say it's because of streaming. No, people want to go and see movies in a theater,
Mm-hmm.
but you're not giving them a reason to go out and see it, except for like Mona 2. They already know what they're going to get with that, and hopefully it doesn't get tainted like a lot of sequels do. So they know that. Of course, Wicked's already got its built-in fan base going out there.
Mm-hmm.
Great. So it's no surprise to see those doing well. But the rest, yeah. I mean, especially with some of the stupid trailers they put out.
Mm-hmm. And let's see, Bonhoeffer, Pastor, Spy, Assassin. I actually do want to see this.
Yeah,
It looks
I
it
do.
looks very good.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to have a World War II drama like that, yeah. I mean, like I said, the history of Bonhoeffer is just fascinating, and I need to brush myself up more on that. And actually, I was in contact with a longtime family friend who's a pastor, and he goes, "Hey, we should hook up for a meal." And I'm going to bring this damn movie up. It's like because he's very knowledgeable in Bonhoeffer, and even when I was listening to some of the college Concordia seminary, they had stuff that was on Apple University. I don't think that's even around no more, idiots. But they were even talking about Bonhoeffer and in a spiritual sense and stuff like that. So, like I said, for the Lutherans, if we had patron saints, he'd be one of our patron saints.
Yeah. And we have Venom: The Last Dance. I haven't even seen the second Venom movie, so I probably won't even see Venom: The Last Dance while it's out in theaters. I'll probably wait for it to come to streaming or something and rent it from there.
Hmm.
Then you have Heretic. Yeah, I guess it's doing well for an A24 film. I mean,
Hmm.
they're not always the largest of budgeted movies, but they seem to do pretty well for what they are.
Right. And that's the important thing.
And then of course you have the Wild Robot. Well, I mean it's been out since September, and it's also available on streaming now, so people can watch it from home if they want. and A Real Pain. Not really sure what that one's about. Mismatched cousins reunite for a tour through Poland to honor their beloved grandmother. The adventure takes a turn when the odd couple's old tensions resurface against the backdrop of their family history. Seems interesting. But, folks, that is your weekend box office. So, if you're a fan of Moana, well, you won this week. If you're a fan of Wicked, you still won this week.
Actually, they're first place losers. They're in second.
I mean,
Oh, wait a moment. I think I just heard your sister scream in the background. I'm in danger, aren't I?
oh, trust me. Trust me. If you were, she'd come straight into my room, probably rip me out of the chair and
Dress me down like a drill sergeant, like Arlie Ermy in Full Metal Jacket.
I mean, I even asked her, do you want to say something off camera
Mm-hmm.
when I record the out of the theater video? She says, no, you can just say this, this, and this. I said, okay.
Get it right on the first time, or else.
yeah, pretty much. But after I recorded, she said, nice job. I said, well, I was just trying to do it justice, trying to give it from your perspective. I know you well enough to know, when she does like a musical and when she doesn't like a musical, even if it's, a movie adaptation. It's like she and my mom went and saw Phantom of the Opera when that came out the theaters.
Mm-hmm.
There were parts of it that they liked, but there were also parts of it that they said they didn't need to put that in the movie. They didn't need to change that scene just so it fits the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say Baron's a lost cause.
Well, because the long suffering put that in there.
So,
but we do have Phil, so we have to be kind to him. We have to be kind to him.
From Kraken, worst troll ever.
There, that was nice to him.
Wait, we have to be nice to him.
That was me being nice.
From Kraken, worst troll ever.
Since when? He calls us Team Epic Phil. Why are we going to be nice to him?
I don't know.
This is Patrick Stewart, and I wish to tell Phil McCracken that I hate him also.
Well, you see, he's feeding off of, again, because he's a plagiarist. He can't come up with his own stuff. He stole that from my beloved wife. That's what happened.
Wait a minute, they're in cahoots. You do realize that now, don't you? They're in cahoots. They're conspiring against you.
I think he's just the Milton Berle. Comes in, steals other people's stuff, and goes out and uses it.
So he's not freaking out about any kind of rumors where someone might end up buying a company and the properties that company owns because they don't like said person because he supports an orange man.
Mm-hmm. Even though you chased him out of the party, and you guys did, because he was a Democrat.
Yeah. Would you like to read this story, Baron?
Oh, sure. What the hell?
All right. Well, okay, and just lost Baron. So I will go ahead and. What the hell?
I hit the wrong button. I hit the wrong button. Okay, it happens. I'm good at that.
Yeah, right.
Hey, this is. Hey, at least that wasn't like prismatic. And when I was when leaving, I hit the end stream button. Love you, prismatic. Just kidding.
I've been on streams like that where someone's done that. It's like, Okay, I guess we're done.
Oh, and when he did that, it was like when we figured out what happened, we just started laughing our asses off. So we got from comic book. That's just the name of the group. It's just comic book. Wow, that's
It's comicbook.com. That's what it
comic
is.
book. Oh wow. How many millions did you pay a group to come up with that name? Huh? So it's
Hey guys,
byline.
I've got a great idea for a website where we can talk about all sorts of stuff. Comicbook.com.
See, what happened is being that my wife is listening in, it kind of scared me a little bit. That's what happened. Oh, I got. Oh, before we continue on, I got to report.
Here's the truth. She actually came up behind you and whacked you upside your head.
Well, that'd be something because she's about 20-some miles away from me right now. She's at work.
Baron, she's your wife. She has the ability to do that.
Oh, she'll do it when she comes home. So it's called anticipation. Oh, I do have an update on cash. Okay, here it is.
Ah! It's not a liquid! It's a great many pieces of solid matter that form a hard floor-like surface! Ah!
So I just want to make sure people will keep you updated on the cash money front.
How many times do we have to tell the boy? It's not an area you can swim in. You can look at all that money in your bin, but you cannot swim in it.
Well, I mean, if he was a duck, he could, but he's not a duck.
He thinks he is.
Mm-hmm. So from
no cash, that's your chin, not a bill.
So from the originality name group comicbook.com, we have a story byline by Matthew Aguilar. I hope I got that name right, and it's bylined November 30th. Power Rangers and D&D fans freaking out over rumors Elon Musk could buy Hasbro. You know, before I continue on the story, fans freaking out can be both ways because they know Elon is an uber geek, and him buying that out in the way that these properties have been treated. Yeah, the freak out the other way I can see happening more than the other.
Yeah.
But you know how the blue hair land whales are. So, oh, just a second. I was drying out, so I needed to have a little sip of drink. Elon Musk previously spoke of wanting to purchase Twitter, and after a roller coaster ride of events, it actually happened. That led to many things, including the rebranding of Twitter to X. Why? And X is one of several companies Musk continues to own and run. Even more important than SpaceX, more important than Tesla, it's X. It's part of his evil plans. Well, what if one of those companies was Hasbro? That's the current topic of discussion after Musk proposed the idea on social media via Dextro. And the idea of Musk owning the company that includes Power Rangers, Dungeons and Dragons, Transformers, G.I. Joe, and My Little Pony. Oh boy, the bronies must be going nuts.
My little Elon. My little Elon.
My little Tesla, my little Tesla. Under its umbrella has caused
I'm
fans.
sorry, I humored myself.
Yeah, he does amuse himself quite well. Under its umbrella has caused fans of those franchises to understandably freak out. Freak out. Musk previously got people talking after he said his company XAI would be starting an AI game studio to make games great again. I wonder where he got that from. But
I don't know.
I don't know. Nah, kind of genius, yeah. But this current, how would you do that? There we go.
You okay?
Well, I'm trying to, when you have consonant, then vowel, how are you going to pronounce that? Make games great again. I don't know. But this current proposal has led ripple effects through a host of franchises due to how many Hasbro currently owns. Again, part of the problem. It all started on November 22nd. It was a cold day. The moon was still out. The owls were hooting. And when Musk responded to a tweet from Grummies that took issue with the foreword in the making of original Dungeons and Dragons book, as it addressed some of the issues with the first iteration use of hurtful language, attitudes, and stereotypes. Yeah, that's bullshit. Musk made his opinion on the whole situation clear in his comment on the thread saying nobody, and I mean nobody, gets to trash Gary Gygax and the geniuses who created Dungeons and Dragons. See, that's why you guys are sucking
Nobody
ass.
puts baby in a corner, in other words.
Right. Yeah. That's why you're sucking ass over the Wizards and Hasbro. Really, honestly. Then, on November 27th, Dungeons and Dragons project lead and Wizard of the Coast senior designer Jason Tandro was asked about the reaction to Musk's comment and any general blowback. I'm sure he's familiar with blowback. Tandro wrote, "It never occurred to me I'd rouse the ire of the grognards. It's obvious now that I look back on it, but I just don't take those critiques serious even now. I consider those people not worth listening to, so I didn't anticipate their outrage." Right there, black and white in print. Quote.
That is why they're having their issues.
Right. That's why when we say that they hate you, this is on their page, because you know who the Gronards are that he's talking about? He's talking about me. He's talking about those of us that played the game back when it was, well, even before it went to what's now called AD&D. You know, they started with the little books. Just a second here. I hit my desk and BB went nuts. But no, I mean, when that comes that way, we're talking about the ones that, again, I will reiterate, we helped keep the fucking game alive. It was in horrible shape, but yet we still came out and supported it, made sure it was still viable. Why? We bought the stuff, right? Why? Because we love it. So these people this little pussy ass bitch, can you see that in here? I don't care.
I was gonna say you just did, so
Okay. About as excited as a two-picker billy goat. Can you see that? One of my favorite lines from that movie. When you say that, you're insulting the people that made sure that you got a freaking job now. You wouldn't be where you are today if it wasn't for us. And the fact that we know more about these universes in this game than obviously you do, pull that giant horse dildo out of your arse and start paying attention. The fact that you even put that in a forward, in the making of original D&D book, the fact that has that opening in there saying those comments, you're a putz. Of course, I consider those people not worth listening to, so I didn't anticipate their outrage. Right there, you freaking moron. You are in an echo chamber pot with the rest of the shit. In the piss. You just got to decide which one you are. And make sure you have a good quote when you get tossed out the window of the Victorian England streets. In a response to a tweet from Ian Miles Chong about Tandro's quote, Musk responded by writing, "How much is Hasbro?" As you might imagine, oh, I'm smiling right now. I'm sorry, I'm smiling right now. As you might imagine, that caused quite a stir on social media, with at Antonio Paz A sharing a burning eyes gif with the caption, "I just hallucinated that Elon Musk backed Power Rangers could look like." Yeah. Yeah, you know what it will look like? It'll look like Power Rangers, as it was. Next God 4 wrote, boy, this guy must be kind of full of himself with that name. The horrifying realization that if he does this, Elon will own Transformers and Power Rangers. That's a horrifying reality I don't want to live in.
And me without a video clip of Megatron laughing.
Well, Jordy tweeted that. It should be twitted that. Put it simply. So you got Jordy tweeted that. So obviously you have, you think highly of it that you have it in your name. Is now going to go. Put it simply with a befuddled gif writing, Power Rangers is done. Art
You okay,
Vilma.
Barrett? You all right?
No,
You need a
I'm talking in their
second
voice.
You need a safe
I'm fine.
space.
No, I'm talking like this because you know this is what it sounds like. So I'm acting. I'm a thespian. I'm acting. Acting.
Yeah, that's
It
a
sounds
word.
convincing because I know how to do it in front of a microphone. I know that you have to emote when you're doing it. I'm an actor. Art Bill Bunder.
Sure you are.
Hey, I'm on this show. I acted good to get this far. Art Vilmander isn't a fan of the proposal either. Just a second. Just a second.
The hell you say?
Writing, I don't want young grubby little arms anywhere near Power Rangers. First of all, Art is grubby little paws. If you're going to say a comment like that, say it right. You nerf-headed chowderhead. Hockey fuck.
Can I read this next paragraph?
Oh, you may, sir. Go on.
But I'm going to read it in the voice of Megatron. At least my impression of Megatron. On the Dungeons and Dragons, Transformers, and G.I. Joe side of things, it isn't gun ho for the idea either. As prismatic waste writing, there is probably no one I'd less want to play D&D with than Elon Musk. I'll look at it. Ellen, stop buying and ruining everything challenge. Well, Andrew's comment wrote, this is the worst news ever. Worst news ever.
There we go.
He would definitely ruin it.
He took the Megatron helmet off, and we found out all this time was the comic book guy that was hiding in disguise. So.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead and read this last part.
I wanted to read the Alec part, but because it looked like
okay.
No, I'm not. I'm going to continue on because there's still more stuff. But I do have to sit back and say, anybody who calls himself prismatic wastes, we already understand that's what you are. Okay, you don't need to have it in your name. At Latin Legacy, someone could call Mike Iron Man. We need to have his take on that. Man, he's doing side quests in an attempt to ruin as much as he can. Was that racist? Who cares? And Unity 07s wrote, if Elon ruins D&D 2, I'm actually going to lose my mind.
That's suggesting that some of these people that are overreacting even had a mind to lose to begin with.
There are many more, and while Musk purchasing Hasbro could very well be just something to stir the pot, you never know. What do you think, Power Rangers fans? And you can talk all things Power Rangers with me on Threads and Twitter. Not me, the guy who wrote the article. I don't know much about it. Our DJ Ronnie G. Hey, DJ, what do you think of that? Are you still out there with your turtles? Yeah, I know. Tree Rock, you're absolutely right. You know, I have to confess, now I'm all of Twitter, especially after reading all those little twat waffle, no life basement dwellers.
Well, we read an article last week from the Hasbro CEO saying he wanted to focus more on gaming than
Mm-hmm.
focus on developing toys. That's why they're also outsourcing their toy development to other companies like Playmates.
Yeah, and why they're wanting to do D&D next, basically computer based.
Mm-hmm.
So you
Hasbro
can
is
buy DLCs for the book. You know.
Hasbro is and always has been a toy company.
Yeah.
And they need to remain a toy company, but they need to be a profitable toy company by promoting and appealing to their fan bases that they're not appealing to now.
Well, I mean, Hasbro actually, I think, if I remember right, actually started out with as a game company. You know, tabletop games.
Yeah.
You know, look at all the games that's under their umbrella that they invented. I'm not talking about the ones they managed to suck in from
Yeah,
other
yeah,
companies.
like when they bought Milton Bradley and
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, who was their top competitor at that time? Um, but yeah, and of course, then they started buying out these other companies like Kenner and such. Started making this into
Tonka.
a toy company, Tonka. I'm still mad about that. That wasn't a Minnesota original. Um, and then of course, going in with buying out Wizards, so now you're in the trading cards, collectible trader card games, and you got D&D, all that fun stuff. But they've run it into the ground. They run it in with bullshit.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you know what? I'm going to keep saying it, Baron. They dropped the ball. They and Paramount when it came to promoting Transformers 1.
Yep.
That
Yep.
first trailer was the nail in the coffin for a lot of fans.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, nope, not gonna go see it.
Yeah, because the fans were so used to being treated like shit, and that trailer was an insult.
Mm-hmm.
And what they're doing with the D&D 5 or 5.5, I guess you could call it, putting in all that stuff, and let's not forget the Mexican orcs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The making of the original Dungeons and Dragons book, as it addresses some of the issues with the first iteration uses of hurtful language. What hurtful language? Attitudes. What attitudes? And stereotypes. You mean to tell me Mexican orcs isn't a stereotype, and a negative one at that? I'm waiting, people. Who's going to take me on that? Is that an actual racial stereotype that's insulting instead of the ones that you made up?
I think it is.
No ifs, ands, or buts. You are the ones that are doing it. Not Gary Gygax, not Arniston, not Monty Cook, or many of the others that was part of D&D. Be it the heyday or going into the third editions, which was kind of a silver age, you might say, golden to silver. Help keep that thing alive. Got people excited. No. You want to make up bullshit because some professor somewheres was masturbating and thought this would be a good idea to brainwash kids. It wasn't. We knew where this stuff came from. It came from actual historical legends from around the world, be it Norway, England, Japan, Italy, even Africa, South America. They took those and they meshed them into the world of fantasy. They weren't insulting. You never do that. And if we're talking about stereotypes because, oh my God, an orc acts like an orc, duh, they're an orc. Don't try to tell me that, no, what you're doing with these violent orcs is actually, you're supplanting African Americans as that. Well, if that came into your mind, who's the real racist? Who is the real one that's putting the negative stereotype? Not us, because we never thought that. If that was their intention to do that, we would understand that, and we'd be going around and being a bunch of pricks about it. No. Something like that doesn't get that hidden when you're making a point. Case in point, Mexican orcs try to get across the river. I want Elon to do it. Do it, Elon. You're one of us. You have been making things better for this nation. You're the one who's going to be rescuing the astronauts that got stuck up there because Boeing is a putz company and steals our money. Yes, steals our money. How many billions of our hard-earned money goes to Boeing so they can have their DEI hires, doors malfunctioning? I can't remember if anybody got sucked out. I hope not. On the 737. And, setting up a rocket that if those astronauts came back home in it, they'd die. Let's see, how many problems have we had with SpaceX in that area? None. That's why NASA's groveling to Elon, because he can save them. Look at his car company. I mean, honestly, of all the companies out there that's all electric, his is because we've had them before, right? But the one that really helped launch it was his Tesla. And then
what about with victims of Hurricane Helene?
Yeah, that was my next thing.
The only way they've been able to communicate is because of Starlink.
Mm-hmm. That was my next point right there. How many lives got saved because of Starlink? Honestly. And yeah, you might want to try and portray him as Dr. Evil, but you know what? I'll let him take over. If this is an evil mastermind, my God, if he had the Baroness beside him, okay, I'm on your team completely.
I mean, he's already on Team Trump.
Well, that's what they hate. They hate he took over Twitter. What has he really done to Twitter? He only made it that people can actually have let's face it, it has gotten better in that area of saying something. It's not perfect. But they hate that. That's why they went over the blue sky. Because, oh my God, it's not an echo chamber pot no more. They're letting other people talk that don't agree with us. And they like that orange man. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So they go to loser. And as I sat back and told Mike, I'll confess, I'll call it a troll account. Just for the hell, I'll just call it a troll account. It's a lurking account. My God, they're insane over there. They are insane. It's a nut house. Absolute dribble coming out of these people. Now, I was telling Mike before the show. It's like, fine, leave X, Twitter, Twix, whatever you want to call it, and go there. They're bragging about how well they're doing over there. Fine. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. But if we have people who are actually true liberals that don't mind having conversations, you can stay on Twix. And they do. Because they're not insane. They're not Kool-Aid drinkers. They're not cultists. They're a cult. They don't know what reality is. So, of course, you're going to get these stupid comments. They're using the same platform they're bitching about to get their word out there. Ooh. I'm excited. I hope he does do that. And I'm glad that when he put those words out, it made people shit their pants because I'm sure old Jason Tundrell probably crap big time, especially after his little comment about I consider those people not worth listening to, so I didn't anticipate their outrage.
Well, say this does happen. He needs to clean house. Get rid of the
Oh,
people who are holding down these brands because they're dead weight.
hmm he's done that. He did that with Twix. Did you hear the one story? He went up to one girl that was working there and started talking to her. Goes, I've noticed your work production has been kind of low. Yeah, and he started asking stuff, and the lame answers that she had back, and then he finally ends, "Are you a DEI hire?" To which she said yes. He goes, "Okay, as of now, you're terminated."
I hadn't heard this.
Yeah, yeah. He was actually talking about that. They did that. Well, if he does that, I hope he goes right into the Wizards of the Coast side, walk up to Jason Tundrell and say, "You're fired." We need to get that clip on here. I got to work on it. You're fired.
I mean, which
And
do you
I
want?
think,
Do you want Donald Trump saying it? Do you want Vince McMahon saying it? Do you want me to find another show where
well,
someone says he's
I was
fired?
thinking of, I was thinking of the Bad Orange Man, but I don't know if we want to go Vince McMahon because of what he's done lately.
I know. I was just thinking the two that are known by people.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon
hmm
and WWE saying you're fired. I mean, Jace would
hmm
know about it just as well as I do, and a few others.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know. I was thinking Orange Man bad, so
If
the Bad Orange Man. Yeah. When everybody loved him. Yeah.
well, of course, because he was on
Hypocrite.
their side. He was on their side. He was someone that they all felt as an ally. The moment he announces he's running for president of the United States, oh no, he's not serious about this. Oh, but how wrong they were.
Well, as I sat back and said, Donald Trump is not a Republican,
No.
but he's not a Democrat either. No, he truly he is a man, an independent man going in there. That's the truth, whether you like it or not, people. The thing is the Democrats treated him like crap when he was there. If he would have run as a Democrat, they would be loving him,
Well, of course,
loving him.
but again, you mentioned one key thing. They treated him like crap. They treated Tulsi Gabbard like crap.
Right,
They treated Robert F. Kennedy Jr. like crap.
right. It's a shit show over there, folks. It's an absolute shit show in the DNC. It's going to be interesting to see where they go, especially the fact that they're 20 million in the hole, and Kamala's out there with her hand out going, "Please put alms for the poor."
I mean, you saw that video that she posted. She looks rough.
And drunk.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I've been in enough bars to know someone who's hit bottom and is drunk. And
Yeah.
that's dialed up
I've
to
been
10.
around enough people to know.
Yep. I mean, when you think of the typical bar loser, bar fly who's basically a loser, that's what I saw. I'm not being mean. I'm being honest. And I love when people Photoshop a bottle of booze or whatever in her hand.
Mm-hmm.
she and Nancy Pelosi can get drunk together.
Yeah,
but
and it is good to see you too, Jace.
Yeah, Jace, how you doing, man? You know, if they really wanted to beat Trump, and I'm absolutely serious about this, right? While she was still on their team, but of course they didn't like her. They would have, if it was me, especially seeing how Joe is going down in private. I would have encouraged them not to continue running. You're going to get your asses handed. And then I would reach out to Tulsi Gabbard and say, will you run? And if it was Tulsi Gabbard versus Donald Trump, that would have been an interesting election cycle.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't be able to predict who would won. Honestly. And that would have been a good choice for them. But no, she's not in the Marx Lenin wing of the DNC. And worst of all, she is a veteran of a war.
Yeah.
A lieutenant colonel. They hate them. Unless they're the ones that are basically government stoolies like Mueller and such. That, are only there to promote crap, not the military and what the military function is.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, Baron, if she had run even as a Democrat, I could have seen myself voting for her.
Yeah, I mean, I would have had to hear more from her, what she was planning.
Of course, wanted to know what her policies were going to be, domestic
But
and foreign policies, trading and all that.
Right.
But if she, had a good plan put together, I could definitely see myself voting for her.
Right. I mean, I would definitely have been, she would be in the definitely considered page or checkbox because, as I have said many times, I'm not a Republican. I'm a constitutional conservative. Constitution is what we run this country on. And it's the individual. Are they going to uphold the Constitution, particularly the Bill of Rights? Because we're enjoying them here with this, doing this.
Yes, we are.
Right?
Yeah,
and I've heard too many people on the other side there, the DNC, saying this is what they want to get rid of because of so much misinformation gets put out there, i.e., the truth.
Yeah, and I also want to bring up something that you had said to Cash and I. When Kamala was announced that she was going to be replacing Joe. When they selected Tim Walz as her VP, you said to us that the DNC had given up.
Yeah. Absolutely. Basically, what they wanted to do, at least try to make it look good. Trying to make it look like you're losing good. In other words, you're not being trounced upon. The best they could do is stack the ballots with the names so it looks like she actually got more votes than she got, but not have her win. I know. How can you take the most disliked vice president ever? What she was ranking lower than Joe, and Joe was ranking low. How can that come back like a phoenix? What was it she said or did? Is it because she happens to be a woman of color? If you're voting for that, you're a moron. I could care less. What color, what gender, anything like that.
Yeah.
She was an idiot, still is an idiot, will be an idiot. And there goes at least
before anyone even says, "Well, you guys voted for Trump."
Damn right.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. We did vote for Trump, but guess what? We're going to hold him accountable. We're going to watch him like a hawk to make sure that any of those campaign promises he made, he actually follows through with it.
Because, like I said earlier when I started out, as I said, he's not a Republican. I know he's got the R after his name, but he's not a Republican. But in some sense, he is a rhino, but he's a good rhino. Republican in name only. What he really is a populist. I know that bothers you. Probably bothers you hearing it, but there's only one way he could get as far and done what he's done is by being a populist.
Yeah.
And he's Donald Trump.
Yeah. And
he's running as himself.
Someone's also going to say, well, then how are you going to hold him accountable? By using this very same platform we're on right now.
Right. This is why they should, why the DNC shouldn't be anti-First Amendment like they are. Because, trust me, if Donald Trump does good, he'll be praised.
Oh, yeah.
I wish I could have done more praising of Joe Biden or Kamala Harris, but there was never an opportunity for that. But I assure you one thing, if Trump fucks up on something, or we think he did, you'll hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Just because someone's got a letter after their name doesn't mean I'm going to vote for him.
No. They could be a good speaker, but that's about it.
See, the real reason why Cash isn't here, he's in the re-education camp, and they're trying to make sure that they drill in Gavin Newsom for 2028. And Gavin Newsom. Well, I'm waiting for him to get back to us on all this stuff.
he will. He will. Anything else
know
you want to add before we get to our last two articles?
Yeah. Sorry about going into this rant area, but
no, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. If I had a serious problem with it, I would have said so in the private chat.
Yeah. I should look at that side more often when I get into doing my talks. I'm focusing on what I'm seeing. Did you see me moving my arms and everything? Yeah, I was emoting.
Of course. Just because we're not on camera doesn't mean we're not emoting.
Yeah. And I emote, I tell you. It's like, that's the old joke about how do you torture an Italian? Tie one arm behind his back and have him try to talk and describe something.
Yeah.
Okay, now that I pissed off all the Italians out there, that one was for you, Phil. No, the only thing is again, just look at this and look at a bullet we have dodged so far, and then look at these people who are doing what we love and what they think of you.
Mm-hmm.
And no wonder why they're suffering. You're not hearing this from Pazel. They're doing everything they can to keep the Gronards and everybody happy and trying to get to share it out to others. You need to have the old timers around to help teach and show what gaming's about. But people who are living make-believe lives, it's hard for you to go out there and play make-believe in a game. Make-believe people can't do that. They're not smart enough.
No, but there was one person who thrived in using the imagination and make-believe, and with the recent announcement that Disney is going to be shuttering his last creation that he worked on, there is someone who's going to preserve a piece of Jim Henson's legacy.
Good.
We have this article from That Park Place, and John Mayer preserves a piece of Jim Henson's legacy. Rockstar does what Disney won't. This is by Stuttering Guitarist. It was posted on November 27th.
Are they putting Kermit in GTA 6? Maybe animal.
Kermit the Frog here.
I'm going to cap your ass. Doing Below in the Corner.
As Disney prepares to shutter Muppet Vision 3D in Disney's Hollywood studios, effectively demolishing the final work of Jim Henson, rockstar John Mayer has stepped in on the West Coast to preserve a small piece of Jim's legacy. The Muppet Theater might be on the chopping block, but the Muppet Studios appears to be safe.
Mm-hmm.
The Hollywood Reporter shared that John, along with director MCG, have teamed up and spent 60 million to preserve the film lot that the Henson Company purchased in 1999, while Jim himself never directly worked on the lot, having died from complications with pneumonia in 1990. His company strives to continue his work and vision. The Henson Company is overseen by Jim's children, Brian, Lisa, Cheryl, and Heather Henson. The
Mm-hmm.
property has a rich history going all the way back to Charlie Chaplin in 1917. So it's not just preserving what
Mm-hmm.
became Jim Henson Studios, but also early Hollywood studio
Wow.
glory, the golden age of Hollywood. The Muppet Studio was once a part of Disney's Backstage Magic Tour and a stop for adventures by Disney tour groups. But the company has since cut the historic Hollywood site from these offerings. Bunch of morons.
Yeah.
A fan on the Disboard discussion group in a long thread regarding Disney's decision to cut the studio out remarked, the loss of Henson on this tour significantly reduces the value of the SoCal trip, unfortunately. Indeed, the site's history goes beyond the Henson Company having been built by Charlie Chaplin in 1917. The classic film star shot his movies The Kid, The Gold Rush, Modern Times, and The Great Dictator at the studio.
Oh my
It, wa-
word.
it was also the recording site for the 1980s star studded hit single We Are the World. Again, more history.
Yeah.
According to Deadline, the Jim Henson Company put the lot on sale in an effort to put the production company and its Burbank-based Jim Henson's Creature Shop in one facility, which the space at La Brea could not accommodate. This consolidation seems to compound Disney's lack of vision in not only removing the site from its tours, but refusing to purchase it and use its media influence and resources to bring even more to the beloved tours. Instead of the obvious and appropriate action, rumors swirled and were repeatedly denied that the lot was being pursued by the Church of Scientology.
We don't want that. Don't want that.
No. However, the Hollywood Reporter learned that the interested party was North Hollywood based Fab Factory Studios, a music production firm is run by father and son entrepreneurs Steve and Sean Fabos. The family is a major financial supporter of Scientology.
Uh-oh.
However, the clock ran out on the Fabos deal. That's when Meyer stepped in. The new deal is said to be in the 60 million range. There doesn't seem to be an area of popular culture where the creative genius of Jim Henson hasn't been felt. Television, film, toys, music, video games, clothing, and even home decor from Sesame Street to Star Wars have all been impacted around the world by Jim's Muppets. Very
Mm-hmm.
true. Yoda.
Yeah. Frank Oz. I mean, even to a degree, Jabba the Hutt and Salacious Crumb.
Henson, who considered himself an experimental filmmaker rather than a puppeteer, even took on the monumental challenge of creating what is considered to be the first live action movie with no human characters in The Dark Crystal. Great movie. If you haven't seen it, I
Yeah.
recommend you watch it.
Yeah, I know. I need to see that one again. It's been a while.
Yeah. The incredible effort led to a more lighthearted project in the musically charged David Bowie driven Labyrinth, another great movie.
Mm-hmm.
There's just something special about Jim Henson's work and innovation. Yeah, you go back and you watch those two movies, you go back and watch The Muppet Show, and you're still entertained.
Mm-hmm. Even though you get
I'm
that warning in the beginning that sensitive people might have problems watching this. What a bunch of
yeah,
morons.
there's the Muppet movie. It's a great movie, but my
Mm.
favorite Muppet movie was Muppets Take Manhattan.
Oh,
Unfortunately, that's a sentiment the Walt Disney Company doesn't seem to share. Disney is set to wipe the last of Jim Henson's iconic legacy off the map sometime in the next year with the destruction of Muppet Vision 3D, one of the last projects Jim personally worked on. It marks his final performance as Kermit the Frog and stood as a physical reminder of the vast legacy this man left behind.
again, we have to ask, what the hell, Disney? Don't you see the legacy?
Unfortunately, they don't care about legacy anymore at Disney.
Oh, if Walt was alive, it'd be a shrine to Henson. Those two
Mhm.
men, those two. Can you imagine if Walt was around and working with Jim Henson on stuff?
Just the thing those two men could have come up with together.
Yeah.
They would have come up with groundbreaking material to use for movies and TV shows. Heck, it was a Jim Henson company that designed the original suits for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Hmm. And Brian Henson working on Farscape
Mhm.
with a lot of the alien designs and such, be it Pilot or I can't remember the the the, the scoundrel ruler, this depot's leader. Um, got a mailbox and everything, but I mean that thing was filled with Henson stuff all across the
Yeah.
board. Well, Brian, he's keeping his father's legacy alive.
Mhm. And yes, Muppet Lives Matter. So it goes on to say Disney has decided that the space, excuse me, sorry, should be reworked into a Monsters Inc. themed land, complete with shopping, dining, and inverted roller coaster, and the Muppet Theater being turned into a Monsters Inc. theater, despite there already being a Monsters Inc. theatrical show in Magic Kingdom. The next steps.
Okay, okay,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
they don't have Imagineers over there anymore. You're gonna put two Monsters Inc. in the park, and I know Monsters Inc. great fun film and all that. Does it still have that much impact? There's a lot of stuff that Pixar did that has a lot, a lot of impact too. But is it something that especially having two of them in the park? Come on, man.
I don't know that Monsters Inc. does. I mean, yes, the first film, it's a great film. I haven't seen
Yeah.
Monsters University, but
No, I haven't seen that much. I mean, I want to because I love watching those films. I mean, I was watching before I had a kid, going to the theater with the former long suffering. Yeah, I wasn't ashamed to go to the theaters and see animated films.
no,
I just made sure I went.
I went with a friend when Finding Dory, Finding Nemo, Finding Dory was a sequel, but Finding Nemo came out in 2003. My friend and I, we wanted to see Bruce Almighty, but that showing was sold out, so we went and saw Finding Nemo instead, and we laughed our asses off, especially when it
Yeah.
came to the adult jokes.
Oh yeah, they're doing it right. They're putting jokes in there for everybody to enjoy, which helps make things timeless. You're hitting all the buttons. By the way, Finding Dory, she's in England right now, hiding. Um,
Yeah.
just to say,
And I think that's where a lot of people are getting to right now. Tree Rock is they're more disappointed than anything else.
well, because they've kicked us in the nuts enough times. We've gone beyond that phase of being just pissed off to just resigning ourselves that this company keeps on destroying iconic things. And it's like, how typical of everything that we have today. They're wanting to have chaos and destroy legacies because legacies remind them of their failures, and they want us to remember their failures.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? Next February, it'll be 5 years since my sister and I had gone to Walt Disney World because we wanted to do something together. And at that particular time, it had been 30 years since we last been to a Disney park. So we thought, we'd never been to Disney World. Let's go to Disney World. And when we were
Mhm.
in Hollywood Studios, unfortunately, Muppet Vision 3D was closed that day because they
Oh.
were they were doing refurbishment. But I would have loved to have gone in there and watch it
Mhm.
and hear Kermit sounding like Kermit, like
Yeah.
I remember.
This is the last Henson performance. The last.
I mean, you cherish those experiences growing up, especially with Muppets and hearing the original voices. Yes, the puppeteers, the voice actors that they have now try to do their best to sound
Mhm.
like a Frank Oz or a Jim Henson,
Right.
but they don't quite have what a Frank Oz and Jim Henson have when it comes to doing the voice.
Mhm.
They don't have that
Yeah.
cadence.
Mhm. Well, yeah, because Kermit was basically an extension of Henson.
Hmm.
So how do you get that in there? How do you? You're not just doing Kermit. You got to do Jim Henson too.
Hmm.
And if the people who are doing this don't know much about Henson, well, what then?
You've lost something.
Right.
You've lost something very critical to what
Hmm.
made the character who that character was.
Hmm.
So it goes on to say in this article, the next steps for this facility will ultimately be in terms of both function and preservation are not yet fully known. Disney's ownership of the Muppets, but not the Henson Company, seems to create a legal labyrinth far less entertaining than the movies referenced above. Some agreement will need to be made in what can and cannot be displayed. Currently, a statue of Kermit dressed as Charlie Chaplin adorns the property, showing the link of the studio's beginning to its acquisition by the Henson family. Regardless, it seems that the importance of the historic lot was not lost on its new owners. Are you happy that John Mayer purchased the Jim Henson Muppet Studios? Do you think he will work to preserve the legacy of Henson? I think he will. I
Yeah.
think he and his partner will do what it takes to preserve that whole studio lot's history
Right.
and entertainment.
Hmm.
I really do. And that's what needs to be done. You don't just take bits of history that are important to people that are, bring a smile to people's face and destroy it. You try to preserve it. And that's what Disney
Hmm.
should be doing with all their properties, whether they created them themselves or they purchased them. You
Right.
work to preserve that property,
Hmm.
whether it be Star Wars, Marvel, the Muppets. You preserve it. You honor its original creators and those men and women who worked tirelessly. In this
Hmm.
case, with the Muppets, putting a production together
Hmm.
for hours on end, bringing magic and smile to faces, young and old. You preserve that legacy. You don't just throw it away.
Right.
You don't just knock it down so you can build a land that nobody was asking for.
Right.
Or when you make the announcement, you say there's going to be this new Monsters Land going in, and then others actually go in and see where it's going in and go, wait a minute here. You've got a legacy in this section of your park. Don't you want to preserve it? I know Disney World and all other theme parks are going to evolve and change. But isn't there something you want to keep that links it from one decade to another decade to show the
Mm-hmm.
evolution of the park? To give people who go to those parks, who pay their hard earned money to get into those parks, when they go in there, they see something that they remember from their first visit or from a time that's no longer here, from the time that Jim Henson and company brought magic, not just with the Muppets, but Fraggle Rock. You know,
The storyteller.
yeah. Don't you want to bring that legacy and keep it around and pass it from one generation to the next, like we've done with so many other stories? Pass them down so that they live on forever. Yeah, parts of the story can be changed throughout the years, as stories have been, but preserve the essence of the story and what something means to somebody. I mean, it's like me going into Wrigley Field. Yeah, they
Mm-hmm.
have video boards there now, but does the park still look like it should?
Mm-hmm.
Is there still an essence of Wrigley Field as many people have remembered it throughout the years? Or even Fenway, when they've done additions and subtractions to that particular ballpark. Does Fenway still
Mm-hmm.
look like Fenway Park? Does it still bring people back to when they experienced their first game at that
Mm-hmm.
park? Don't you want that?
Mm-hmm.
Don't you want to take your kids somewhere, say where you grew up and see something from your childhood that's still standing and tell them about your experiences in that particular area? That's what I'm asking. I'm even asking all of you. Don't you want to preserve part of cultural history? Tree
Oh,
Rock
that
says
I would have.
in the 80s, I never had the opportunity to ride the Battlestar Galactica ride at Universal Studios California. I wish I had before it was demolished. Yeah, that's
I
the-
would have loved to.
that's what I'm talking about. There's some rides that none of us ever got to ride. We only hear
Mm-hmm.
stories from people who had or seen videos that others recorded on their trips there. Because I don't know if you remember this, Baron, but at Universal Studios Hollywood, I don't know if it was at Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say for sure, but they had a Star Trek themed show
Mm-hmm.
where a few members of the audience could go on stage and enact a scene from Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
Between them being the live actors and the pre-recorded material, and then it would be put all together, and those actors actually got to take the VHS home of
Mm-hmm.
them being part of this production.
Yeah. Uh, the artist friend Gordon Purcell, who drew a bunch of the Star Trek issues out there, he went and did that and told me all about it. And you could be Klingon, you could be either the Klingon or
Mhm.
you can be the Federation. And one of the funny things is, and I've seen the video of it. I mean, it's cheesy. You go in there, it's 100% cheese,
Yeah,
but it's fun cheese,
yeah,
right?
it is.
It's what, yeah, yeah. And Michael O'Hare, Commander Sinclair, did that. There was a video out there. It might still be on Twitter of him being dressed up in a Federation uniform on board the quote unquote bridge of the Enterprise. So it's like, it's like, wow. Now we know what he would look like if he was on board, in the Star Trek universe. I always,
Mhm.
found that funny. But yeah, that it'd be great if they had something like that going again. That would be fun. I heard about it. I wish
Yeah.
I could have done it.
Yeah, when my family and I went to Universal one time, we experienced Back to the Future the ride, but with my dad and I, experienced Back to the Future the ride, but the family experienced that. And, yeah, it was cheesy, but I'm thinking, so this is what something Star Trek theme would look like. Little did anybody know at the time that there would be Star Trek the Experience in Vegas when that opened up
Hmm.
in '98.
Yeah. Yeah, you could be on the D bridge, right?
Yeah, the Enterprise D bridge. They actually had two at one point, and then they
Mm-hmm.
took one of them out for Borg Invasion 4D.
Ah,
Yeah, which I did get to experience that, and that was pretty cool.
I
But
think
but
someone's right.
but it was kind of odd because when the Borg are probing you, the seat, even underneath the seat, it's moving. It's like, okay, there's something going where it shouldn't be going.
Bad touch! Bad touch! Bad touch!
But when it came to Star Trek: The Experience, I had fun looking at the props and the
Yeah.
costume.
Hmm. Yeah, I can't remember. There was some sort of uh, something that was basically a traveling, display show, and was able to get a good look at. I think it was McCoy's Star Trek II uniform, or the Monster Moon, we should say, and
Mhm.
which was absolutely fascinating. Or when they brought through about the special effects. So you go in there and you'd actually see the original matte painting of the interior of the Rebel, uh, the Mon Calamari Rebel cruiser with the shuttle and the Millennium Falcon and the spot that's that's not painted where they do let the film come through of the actual actors, the matte
Mhm.
painting. They even had from Spaceballs the Winnebago model in there, and it's just so fascinating seeing that. And then we had the Star Wars, what that experience thing. So went through there, seeing they had the Star Destroyer in there. They had uniforms and costumes, props, matte paintings. They even had a pod racer because this was about the time that uh, Phantom Menace came out. So this was like
Mhm.
1999, 2000. And so you were able to see little Annie in his pod racer. But other than that, most of it was the original trilogy.
Mhm. Yeah, when my sister and I went to Disney World back in 2020, before everything went to crap,
Hmm.
we went into the Star Wars launch bay where they had replicas of the Death Star model and a few other models that were
Hmm.
actually filmed, and costumes and props from the original trilogy, and of course, the prequels and then the sequels as well. But just walking through there and looking at all the old props, because that's what I was drawn toward, was everything that was OG Star Wars. And
Hmm.
just looking at it made me smile because I was thinking back to walking through Star Trek: The Experience at what was then the Las Vegas Hilton,
Hmm.
and then of course it made me long for Star Trek: The Experience.
Yeah. I mean, just seeing the big Millennium Falcon
Hmm.
model, and then they had like a couple of the smaller ones in there, including the little one that got put on the side of the Star Destroyer that they had.
Yep.
And so you can see the different scales and just the work they did on it. It's just, oh my, I miss that stuff. But the thing is Disney, just like with the Muppet thing here, doesn't care. We won't see something like that again
No, we won't.
because because it's that's bad Star Wars. It's not ours. You come out the Galaxy Edge or whatever the hell it's called because that's got the real Star Wars. You can see Rey. You know, yeah, right. Keep telling yourself that she's the most desired character in Star Wars. Yeah,
And yet now there are rumors that you're not even going to get those movies with
good.
her.
Oh, I don't think they'll happen. They won't happen. Not in a heartbeat. But that's just it. I mean, Disney himself, yeah, innovation, pushing the boundaries, getting making new things. But he was also about preserving. Just take a look at the firehouse he had in there, the one with the apartment on top there. That one at one time, a kid did climb the pole into the apartment, and Disney was up there. I think he was reading something in a chair, and kind of surprised him. And he had a nice, pleasant conversation with the kids because he loved kids. And
Mhm.
but after that happened, he goes, "Yeah, is there a way we can have it that people can't come out?" It. You know, great stories like that, and it is fascination for cranes
Mhm.
and such like that. And obviously, when it comes to that, there is that sense of preservation. So Walt was all about preservation as much as making new things. Disney doesn't care now. They're so soulless.
They
You
want to
don't
make the
have people.
money. They
Mhm.
think that they know best.
Right. But look how much money Walt made. While you're losing, he made. Why aren't you? Why aren't you following that example? You're failing. Walt had it right. And knowing the significance, if he was around, knowing the significance of this Muppet Theater, it would not be touched, except to make sure it's up and working.
Mhm. Well, I'm sure Walt Disney himself would be ashamed at the condition some of these theme parks are in, especially with the rides. And
Right. Oh, he would. He would. I mean, it'd be fun to watch how he react to these people, but part of you would want to cringe in the background because you'd wonder if there would be bloodshed. Let's just put it that way. He would not be happy.
yeah,
Any shape, no way, no how.
and
And you know what? That's what we need.
real quick, I want to thank Clemtheism or Thism. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but Clemtheism, thank you for following us on the Rumble side. Really appreciate it.
Oh, 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 oh! I got another update coming in here. I
Okay.
got another update. What? What? Oh, it's coming in. Just taking a moment. But there is a cash update, and I think it's kind of an important one. But here it is.
I have people skills. I am good at dealing with people. Can't you understand that? What the hell is wrong with you people?
I guess that was from his Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah, imagine Thanksgiving dinner at the Cash Money 007 household.
Well, you know what started it off is a couple of his family members that were sitting at the table. They looked at Cash and go,
What would you say you do here?
"Yeah," and that started that scree. So
Did you help prepare the Thanksgiving dinner? What was your part in the meal, Cash?
I was the food taster. That's why there's no deviled eggs. And if you smell some odd smells, it's not coming from me.
Sure, sure. But we do have one last article for today's show. I will post it up here in just a moment. And I want to say thank you to everyone who's stuck with us during the show, whether you're watching on YouTube, Rumble, or X. Really appreciate it.
Hmm.
So we have this article from Ryan Pearson. It was posted on the 27th. And it says Final Fantasy VII Rebirth director says he wants to bring remake trilogy to as many players out there as possible, but still has yet to announce PC release date for latest entry. It says in an update that could read as either optimistic or frustrating, depending on one's personal level of investment in the game's yet to be announced PC release. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth director Noki Hamagachi, or
I think
Hamaguchi.
you got that. Hamaguchi. I think it's Hamaguchi.
Yeah,
Pookie, are
Hamaguchi.
you still there? You've been learning your
I'm still here.
Japanese. No, Pookie, my wife. Are you still here in the cat? You're the one that's going to be an expert in these.
Says that despite the lack of progress in doing so, he would like to see the remake trilogy come to as many platforms as possible. Well, that's how games should come out. They shouldn't be exclusive. They should come out to as many platforms as possible, so as many gamers who are interested in playing the game can actually experience that game.
Right. Get more
During a
money.
recent Mhm. During a recent interview with Games Radar, Jasmine Gould Wilson, the topic of conversation eventually turned to whether the remake trilogy would eventually come to more platforms. Offering what little insight he could into the matter, Hamaguchi asserted, in terms of Final Fantasy VII, there's nothing really we can say at the moment, but certainly I do want to bring Final Fantasy VII and the remake series to as many players out there as possible. So we want to create that situation, that environment where more players can play the games in future, and we want to look in that direction. Elaborating on his thoughts, the series' new director, having taken over the role in 2021 after Tetsuya Nomura. I don't know if I've said that right or not. If I haven't said it right, please correct me. Stepped down in order to work on other projects. Hamaguchi noted that far from his own personal desire, the concept of multi platform releases was something that not just Square Enix, but the video game industry at large was beginning to embrace. Well, they should have embraced it a long time ago, as far as I'm concerned.
Hmm.
I think this goes beyond Final Fantasy VII, he said. It really is a change in the industry, and I think certainly we're feeling right now that the industry has changed in terms of there being so many different platforms and environments that people play games on these days. Hamaguchi contrasted this with how in the past publishers would put out a game in one place and get most of the players coming to that game to play it on that platform. It's so much more diversified now, he told Gold Wilson. So I think that's probably why Square Enix CEO Mr. Takashi Kiryu made the decision to move in the direction of multi platform. That's just the way that the industry is going. Well, also because Final Fantasy Rebirth sales weren't exactly what they were expecting as a PS5 exclusive. As this portion of the interview came to a close, Hamaguchi offered one last thought on the multi platform discussion, namely that despite the Final Fantasy franchise being predominantly tied to the PlayStation brand, he was particularly fond of Xbox's consoles. This is just a personal opinion now, but I've got an Xbox myself. He enthusiastically recalled. I think it's a great hardware platform. I do like Xbox. While the mention of Microsoft's flailing PlayStation competitor does not appear to be related to any sort of confirmation or news about Reverse's future, it does confirm that at the very least, come on, Mike, say it right. The game's director is at least actively aware of the Xbox ecosystem as a viable destination for Square Enix releases. Well, of course, again, He wants it released to multiple platforms. The more platforms that it's released to, I'll point out the obvious here, the more money Square Enix can make. In May of this year, Square Enix announced that in an effort to shift from quantity to quality, they would be turning their operational attentions on four key areas: the development of titles delivering fun, the rebuilding of their overseas business divisions from the ground up, the allocating of a maximum 100 billion yen for total strategic investments, growth investments, or shareholder returns, and most relevantly to Hamaguchi's latest interview, the shifting of the release philosophy to all multi-platform strategy. And already it appears this change in tact is already manifesting, as since the announcement, a number of Square Enix titles, including Saga, Emerald Beyond, Visions of Mana, Romancing Saga 2, Revenge of the Seven, Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D Remake, and Fantasia Neo Dimension have all had multi-platform releases. Further, older titles such as Octopath Traveler and its sequel have also recently been ported to modern consoles. Likewise, Final Fantasy Pixel Remastered made its way to the Xbox Series X and S in September, while Final Fantasy 16 opened its door to PC players in August. At current, Final Fantasy VII Remake is available on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and PC platforms. Meanwhile, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth unfortunately remains a PlayStation 5 exclusive. All in all, whether or not Hamaguchi actually follows through on his desire for multi-platform releases remains to be seen. Hopefully, starting with an announcement of a PC release date for Rebirth. So there's still questions on whether or not Rebirth will see its PC release. It's not on question to think it wouldn't, but how soon do you think Square Enix will actually pull the trigger and say, okay, let's get that PC market now?
The sooner the better.
Yeah.
Honestly, you want to make money or not?
Yeah. Do you just want to be stagnant on one platform, or do you want to reach out to PC players and get their interest and get their engagement? Reach out to Xbox players, get their engagement.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure that the current Switch would be able to handle it, but if the Switch's successor does eventually come out, maybe even look at that as an avenue.
Right. Again, if it's not released on something because it can't handle it, that's one thing. But if you're just doing it because you want to be an elitist, well, you're not going to get the profit. They're expecting everyone to rush out there, buy their game system so they can play this game, and that's the wrong thing to do, especially with the cost of these game systems. And the best thing to do is, yeah, I mean, release it exclusive in the beginning, but after some time, not that, and I'm not talking about stretching it out to a year, but sometime within 6 months, they should start releasing it on the other platforms and start making money. You want to reward the people that bought your system. So that's so you give them the immediate gratification. That does encourage people to go out there and say, oh, I got to get one. I got to get one now. Well, then you got them. It's going to be that impulse within the beginning there. But keeping it for a long time off of there, or just not wanting to even move it anywhere, is what's going to hurt you in the long run, because that impulse buying is gone.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to make more money, yeah, release it as a nice gift to the people that have your system, and then go that way. And then let the ones that do play it on your system go out there and do the advertising for you. Oh man, this game's great. Oh man, this is wonderful. Oh, I can't believe this. And that starts firing up the other people. And again, the impulsive ones will buy your system if that's the case. But when it does come time for it to go on sale, they're hungry for it. That's why you don't want to go too long. They're hungry for it, and boom, you're going to get the exit sale. I don't know who does sales over there or who's in charge of marketing. Fire them. The people that make these decisions should get fired. Because after a time, the big fight was the Atari 2600 versus the Intellivision from Mattel. But as time went along, Intellivision started making their games on a 2600 cartridge. We could start playing their games on the Atari. Back then, it was unheard of to have more than one game system. And then they started doing stuff onto the computers. But what computer system you want? You want IBM, Apple? It doesn't matter. But that's the thing. It's called marketing. It's called getting people all excited. They're too much into the compulsive buying mindset that they don't know how to do it properly. There's got to be anticipation, and there's got to be your propaganda, which is the players that got it ahead of time. Boom. And it's cheaper advertising that way. And you get more return on investment. That's what you do. So, enough of being egotistical, people. I mean, yeah, it's great to be proud of your systems that you have. You have every right to. You put a lot of money into it, a lot of research, a lot of development. But you cannot be myopic because the console wars, as we kind of know it, is coming to an end. No one's going to go out there in this economy right now. Maybe things will change in the next year or two. But, okay, I'm going to buy a Xbox and a PS. Well, how much is that? And now you're going to be buying different games for each one of the systems. How much a pain is that? And if you do have games that's available for both systems, which one are you going to buy? Which one's going to have the lasting power? Right? You don't want to make it too difficult for your customers. Even the most diehard ones will just throw up their arms and say, I'm tired of this. And this is not a slight to consoles. I've never been a big console fan myself. I prefer a computer. That's my preference. And I'm not going to go out there and belittle someone because they like the console better. Right? I happen to have two Xboxes because, I had kids. 360 and the One. But, that's a little different of the matter. I played them, but the most enjoyment I get is off my computer that I got here. I copied Mike and got the same computer. He just put more doodads in his. I need to get some doodads put in mine. Don't ever alienate potential buyers. You just play a game. That's all marketing is. It's a game. It's an art, not a science. You got to have somewhat of a pulse on what's out there and not believe your own BS. That is absolutely important. Because then that goes down a line of basically insulting the people out there because you don't know what you're talking about. So unintentionally, you start insulting the people that buy the stuff. So that's my piece, at least. I could be wrong. Tell me if you think I'm wrong. I'm sure there's other avenues in there, but what I said I think is a viable, at least one path. Again, you got to look at all options. I just lead one out. Now, if there's others out there, how come I believe that? I don't think he's kidding. Folks.
No. When it comes to DJ, I don't think he's kidding at all.
I don't ever think that at all. Oh, by the way, a breaking news coming in here has nothing to do with Mike, but it does happen to deal with the Cobra Kai thing, because this has been the last season, and of course they're wanting to do that last film. I guess there has been clip scenes from the Karate Kid that no one's seen, and they're going to be adding in there that have, of course, Pat Morita in it, because they want to capitalize off of Mr. Miyagi, and this is the Miyagi-verse, right?
Right. Just like in that story we read last week about the next Karate Kid movie coming out next year.
Right. So here is actually a still from the '84 movie itself that no one saw. And I guess it's going to be put to good use in the upcoming projects, whether it's the actual Cobra Kai series or the movie.
I'm smiling, but I'm laughing because that shows you the character that Pat Morita was.
Oh my word! If you only know Pat Morita as Miss Miyagi, or even Arnold from Happy Days, you don't know Pat Morita. The man could give a joke and take a joke. Mm-hmm. I mean, the man called himself the hip nip, for crying out loud. He was very confident of who he was, and quite a character.
And she doesn't seem to mind.
I think she's helping initiate it. I mean, that hand was around his head.
True.
Oh, Pat Morita, when you went, it was.
We don't have people like him in the world entertaining us anymore.
No. I mean, he realized he's going to be stuck in these Japanese roles, but he was a born and bred American. Never knew karate. I don't think he even knew Japanese, to be honest with you. But boy, he worked it. He worked it. Especially the businessman on Married with Children.
Mm-hmm. He was good in any role he took.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Pat was definitely something else.
But I will say I still have a hard time getting through the next Karate Kid because I haven't been able to get through it. I get to the same part of the movie where Hilary Swank is up near the bird sanctuary, and every time I get to that scene, I can't get beyond it. It just the movie just doesn't do it for me. And it has nothing to do with Hilary Swank. It's just not a movie that draws me in.
Yeah, it's understandable. I mean, I guess in some ways it was kind of running its course too at that time,
Yeah. But speaking of, well, maybe not running its course, because hopefully we don't get to that point. But if we ever do, please let us know, folks. Baron, what do you have coming up on Baron Norman Tag's Phantom Legacy?
Well, because of the holiday and the insanity that's been my life this last week, about a week and a few days. I'll just say 2 weeks. I didn't do a filming of Contraband Police, but with Mike's help, tomorrow maybe I'll do one at 5:00 Central Standard Time on my channel, Baron Norman Tag's Fandom Legacy, which for that time will be known as Baron Open Tag's Fandom Gaming, do my contraband police there and continue my fight to keep your evil Western influences from the great country of Afghanistan. Da, da. We don't want your garbage. We don't want your cheap cigarettes. We just want Pakistani Soviet cigarettes, the best cigarettes in the world. We don't want your cheap booze made in bathtubs. No, 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 no. We want to have vodka, pure Pakistani vodka. So we must keep that obligation. And we don't need to have your nose candy coming in, or your counterfeit money, trying to destroy our great economy here. So please, keep in mind, there might be a live stream, might be surprised, tomorrow, 5 o'clock, on Fandom, Baron Omen Tag's Fandom Socialist Fandom Legacy. Be there or be obtuse. Well, I might as well promote the other stuff because somebody's not here. Excuse me. I've been so dry lately.
It's the season.
It's the season. Tis the season to dry out your sinuses, and a CPAP doesn't help matters much either. As we go along, Tuesday at 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time and 10 o'clock Central Standard Time. Rumble only because we're snobs, and we talked about earlier on this show about being able to feel freer to express ideas and thoughts. Catch on Cash Money Madness channel, Rumble only. Cash Money and myself, he's the host. I'm the sidekick for cranky old fans. We have usually 2 topics. We discuss on those topics. It can be anything across the line. It can be science fiction, fantasy. It can be music. It can be anything, westerns even. And we'll tackle these topics. He usually picks one. I pick one. Goes about an hour long, so you don't have to worry about this long, drawn-out show because, Cash's voice can put you to sleep. Honestly, I know that. So please join us for that. Cash Money Madness, Rumble, cranky old fans. And then we can't neglect, hopefully Thursday, over at Jace Fox's 540 studio. We have the Beyond. And of course, leading that show is Jace Fox himself. Hopefully, we'll be seeing Prismatics. Hopefully, Celtic Cajun. Hopefully, Hoshi. Hopefully, Whoopa Troopa. And hopefully, Cash Monet 007. And myself. So join us there. And as we tackle the universe from the mind of Jace Fox himself. Other than that, I can't think of anything else. Hopefully, a game stream will come up on Friday on the YouTube channel Phantom Hooligans, and that usually starts at 8:30 Central Standard Time as well. Other than that, I can't think of anything else. See, I am still, lifting Cash up here. I'm doing the hard work for Cash Monet while he just sits and dines on his deviled eggs. Back to you, Mike.
All right.
With the price of eggs, by the way, that right now is like caviar. Back to you.
And as far as what's coming up here on Pacific414 on the YouTube and Rumble sides, at least for Tuesday and Thursday, I'll be continuing Alien Isolation starting at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. My goal for those 2 streams is to try to finish the game because next week Indiana Jones and the Great Circle comes out, and because I have Game Pass, I am going to try the game out that way.
So you're going to tell us whether this is truly the Great Circle or the Great Circle Jerk, right?
I definitely will. Trust me, if I don't like the game, you'll hear it.
I got to tune in on that one. Heck, if you open the Discord channel, it'd be interesting to, I'm sure Cash and I would love to tackle it if it's bad.
Yeah, I don't got no problem if you want to join in the Discord, Cash, or anyone else as I play. And
no Phil's allowed.
He can join if he wants.
Yeah, it's your Discord, so what the hell, right? Or is it the secret group Discord?
No, he can join. He can join in the regular Discord voice chat.
Okay. I guess you're welcome, Phil.
But on Wednesday on YouTube, Rumble, and X, it'll be the Wednesday edition of Pop Talk, starting at 6 p.m. Eastern, where we will welcome back the leaded scenes to Pop Talk, and we will find out how his channel's been doing, and also talk about topics that he would like to discuss for Wednesday's show, and have a good time.
Yeah, I got something to show him. I forgot the last time he was on, but I got something to show him when he comes on. So.
Okay, that's awesome. And then, of course, there will be the Sunday edition of Pop Talk next Sunday, and then next Tuesday, not this Tuesday, but next Tuesday, I plan to play Indiana Jones and the Great Circle that day. Now, if I could play it a little earlier, I might do a stream next Monday of that game. We'll just have to wait and see how long the download takes, because whenever you're downloading the game from Xbox, it takes a while, no matter what your internet speeds are. Well, it's because they throttle you when you're downloading.
Mm-hmm.
Wait. Deleted scenes never invited me on to show my Blu-rays.
Mm-hmm.
That scoundrel.
Well,
That
save your
scruffy looking nerf hurting. All right. He's joking.
You can
Just
save that
kidding.
for when he's
I'm
on.
sure he's just playing hard to get. Wait.
Everyone plays hard to get.
I heard it was you and your turtles that played hard to get, DJ. But that is
maybe you're
what's
not turtly enough.
Maybe he's not turtly enough for the Turtle Club, is what Baron's saying.
Mm-hmm.
But I do appreciate everybody tuning in to us on this Sunday. It's a lot of fun. Baron, thank you very much. And I know he's gonna cry if I don't promote what's coming up on Phantom Hooligans. I can just hear him now. Yeah, you guys had a great show, but neither one of you promoted me.
I did.
Why didn't you promote me? I'm talking about the Phantom Hooligans.
Oh, yeah. Screw him.
No. I'll promote what he has on there right now. He did, as of a few days ago, post a Joker 2 movie review video. So go check that out over on the Phantom Hooligans.
Yeah, it was months in the making. Finally got it out.
He also has his part 1 video of Hollow Knight up there. And then this Friday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 8:30 p.m. Central Time, 5:30 p.m. Pacific Time over on the Phantom Hooligans, Cash, Baron, and I will be playing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge.
Ooh, I'm scared now.
Yes, so DJ will be playing Turtles. So if you want to come by and see the three of us play Turtles, you can. Of course, well, we already know Shredder, aka Phil, is going to call his team Epic Phil. But also, if you have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and you want to join us, get with Cash on X, or if you're in his Discord, I'll go ahead and include his X handle and say, yeah, I want to join you guys. But all we ask, this is a rule that we all have, is just be cool.
I'm cool.
I'm cool.
You know,
Okay, maybe not all the time, but
honestly, honestly.
Take it easy, man.
I'm perfectly calm, dude. Calmer than you are.
You just take it easy.
Calmer than you are.
you're calmer than all of us, huh? But, ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you for watching us on this Sunday edition of Pacific414 Pop Talk. We hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to hit that like button over on YouTube and Rumble. Consider following us over on X or on YouTube or on Rumble. Just hit that follow button, hit that like button for each and every one of us. All our links have been posted into the various chats at one point or another. And until next time, everybody, remember one thing on Pacific 4 and 4. Don't ever give up on me in a game, because just when you do, you might miss something. Take care, all.
Noodles.
Autobots, transform and roll out!